Well, good evening and welcome to Week 10 of the Ohio High School football season here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health. We bring you live coverage tonight from the township for our Kingston National Bank Game of the Week as the Huntington Huntsmen host the Piketon Redstreaks in the SVC Clash, the regular season finale. A lot on the line as far as the postseason picture goes. Huntington, with a win, can solidify their spot in the postseason. Piketon, on the other hand, they're a little ways out, 17th in Division 5, Region 19. They need a lot to happen to get into the postseason, but at the very least, they can play spoiler and put an end to Huntington's season tonight. With that, Carson Francis and Shane Combs with you tonight. One final time from the regular season. Shane, good to be with you tonight. As always, we've got a great one on tap.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. You know, throughout the SVC, it's been kind of a tough puzzle to put together. You know, at the top, Uniota and Zane Trace have been really good, but here in the middle, it's just been some teams and some matchups that have beat up on each other back and forth. And give Huntington a lot of credit here in their football program, a chance to post a 7th win on the season. I know you'll have some information on what that would mean. But then also 5-2 inside the Cider Valley Conference if they're able to win tonight. And they were able to get a good win over Westfall, and then after Westfall beats Piketon, now we have the Huntington-Piketon matchup as we're trying to sort out the middle of this league. But while we're doing that, there's obviously a lot of postseason things as well.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, Huntington currently sitting as the 12th seed in Division 6, Region 24. A pretty loaded region, to say the least. If the playoffs were to start today, they would travel to Coldwater for their first-round matchup. That would be a heck of a game for Huntington, for anybody, to say the least. One of the premier programs in the state of Ohio. This would only be the second time that Huntington has ever made the playoffs. Their first time coming back in 2022. So still a lot of new success for this Huntsman program. A chance to earn another trip to the postseason tonight.
Well, when it comes to Week 11, as you just said, at that point, I don't know if they would care where they were going or where they were playing or who they were playing, right? It's just a matter of taking that step. It's a matter of exposing the program to that level of football. But first things first, obviously they have a really, really tough task ahead of them over the next couple hours here in Week 10 on their home field. And I know Coach Beeler and his kids are very, very well aware of that.
Coach Beeler, in his third season as the head coach of the Huntsmen, he's led this team to its most wins since 2000, when the Huntsmen finished 6-4. They last had a 7-win season the previous season in '99, finishing 7-3. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Coach Tyler Gullion and his Piketon Redstreaks coming off a devastating loss to Westfall last week, 53-21, the final up in Williamsport last week. Put them in a bit of a deep hole as far as their postseason hopes, but again, still a lot to play for the Redstreaks. And if there's any coach that's got the experience, the pedigree to have his team ready for this Week 10 matchup, look no further than Coach Gullion for the Redstreaks.
Well, that's really well said. He's certainly one of the best. It's been doing it a long time, and a lot of pride in the Piketon football program. And you know, Carson, you look at the run down there. They beat a good Northwest team on the road, and they get off to the 2-0 start. No shame at all in losing to Valley, Zane Trace, and Uniota, and then they probably felt like they had their entire season in front of them. They take care of business for 3 weeks, and then last week at Westfall, it just gets away from them, and they end up giving up, 50-plus points. So got to hit the reset button. Nothing you can do about that now. Again, the playoffs will be a difficult task because they'll need so much help around them. But I think really with Coach Gullion, the message to the kids is, hey, let's let that sort out as it will. We have the ability to control one thing, and that's how well we practice, how well we prepare, and how well we go play Friday night at Huntington.
For Piketon, they're going to look to a lot of their playmakers on offense, this senior-loaded team that's got a lot of playmakers going to go and give it their all one last time, and one of those guys is the quarterback, Luke Gullion, who's captained this offense for the past couple years. 13 of 24, 182 yards and a touchdown last week, looking to, at the very least, end his high school career on a positive.
Yeah, he's one of about 13 or 14 seniors on the roster this year. And look, I know that's got to be a disappointing loss a week ago. And and you wish you're in a different spot in the computer points. But as we just said in the first question there, you can't worry about that tonight, right? You got to take the field, and if this is the last time you get a chance to play for Piketon football, you got to understand what that means in terms of who you represent before you and who you'll represent for those still to come, and go out and play with great effort. And you know as well as I do, Gallion and company will do that.
And Gallion will have some reinforcements in his receiving core as well. They just got Trevin Shanks back last week, who hadn't played an offensive snap since week 1 when he got hurt after the Northwest game. 4 catches and 120 yards in that game. And with that, we will take a break, and we'll hold that thought as the Huntington Marching Huntsmen perform our national anthem. We will step aside and let you have a listen.
I would ask that each one of us honor Mr. Crispin with a brief moment of silence here this evening. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we live in the greatest country on earth with freedoms like no other. In order to honor America and out of respect for all who have served defending these freedoms, we ask that you remain standing. Keep your headgear removed as the Huntington Marching Band, under the direction of Mrs. Kristen Cohen Michelin, plays our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
The Huntington High School Marching Band with our national anthem tonight before kickoff between the Huntsmen and the Redstreaks, about 6 minutes away. Shane, going back to what we were talking about before the band performed, Piketon got some reinforcements in their offense here in the past couple weeks. They regained Trevin Shanks as well as Jace Johnson, who missed the first 7 games of the season with an injury. In just 3 games, he's got 17 catches, 217 yards, and a touchdown. Huntington defense going to have their work cut out for them with some of these new re-additions to Piketon's offensive end.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And you know, of course, when you study Piketon throughout the year, it just seems like they've probably never been able to get the full strength to maybe have the complete balance that you're used to seeing from the Piketon offense. I know a year ago, you know, you lose the likes of Thacker, who was probably up around 600 yards receiving, and obviously Wilson in the running attack. This year, it seems like some skill kids have come back. This kid will be out. This kid will come back, and then this kid will get hurt. And it's just kind of back and forth. I know the Bo Henry injury up front's really hurt. Tonight, you're right. You know, you get a couple pieces back, and man, just that one extra weapon here or there, that can really, really stretch the defense out and make them pay attention to a couple different things.
On the flip side, Huntington, led by junior signal caller Frankie Hirsch, 12 of 17, 122 yards and 3 scores in a 40-14 win at Adena. He's had a very impressive season leading the Huntsmen to a very impressive season considering how the state of the Huntington program over the past couple years. Frankie Hirsch has done a tremendous job leading the charge.
Yeah, my biggest thing with Frankie, when I watch him compete in 3 sports and even had the opportunity to coach against him at times a little bit, is just the intangibles, right? It's the winning. It's the X factor stuff he brings. He's obviously very, very talented. There's no question about that. But beyond that, Carson, there's a leadership quality, and there's an efficiency and a willingness to kind of do whatever it takes to put team first. And I think that's probably what separates him in a lot of ways. So I just think Huntington's got a really, really good leader there under center for him, and that brings a lot of things and puts it into play.
You look at the weapons like Isaac Taylor, Evan Thomas, both in the run game. They've got guys like Dalton Nichols, Colt Parker, Carson McNeil in the passing game. This Huntington offense has shown a lot, and it's not just the one guy. These guys are experienced. They know what it takes, especially through their experience this year. They know what it takes to get those wins when their team needs them.
Yeah, I think the thing that jumps out at me when I look at the Huntington roster is 10 seniors, 10 juniors, right? So you got a lot of upperclassmen, and in football it means you got a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds out there on every snap. And then what I find from a coaching perspective is if you're playing a freshman or sophomore, it's because you want to rather than you have to. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? It's one of those where, hey, this kid's a special talent, or this kid can bring this to the table. Let's go ahead and use him. But when you have that older base, boy, does that make a big difference in the trenches and in some of the different play calling. And you mentioned those talented running backs and the physicality they bring.
And on the defensive side of the ball, too, Isaac Taylor, Jackson McNeil, the leader in tackles on this team with 63. And then Frankie Hirsch, too, who we talked about his abilities as a quarterback, but he's been a tremendous defensive back as well on the defensive side, 4 interceptions on the year.
Well, and that's a small school football playing both ways. I love to see kids being able to impact games in a lot of different ways. Maybe it's as a running back on offense, linebacker on defense. You mentioned Hirsch, throwing touchdowns, but also picking a lot of passes off. He was huge in the Westfall win. So, yeah, it's the ability to get guys on both sides of the ball, put them in positions where they can impact the game the most. And Huntington certainly has a handful of guys that they look to as the core. And then what that does is it allows all the role players to fall in and be a little bit more comfortable in playing whatever role it is you're asking them to play.
With just a couple minutes left till kickoff here in the township, we will quickly step aside and come back for kickoff. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
For 175 years, the Glockner name has stood for trust. Today, that promise continues. Every time your family turns the key. Generations have trusted us for one reason. We never stopped caring. From preschool drop-offs to road trips, you leave our service center knowing your family is in the safest hands possible. 175 years of social proof that this isn't just service. It's a promise from our family to yours.
Back here in the township, we're just about a minute away from kickoff as the Huntsmen look to clinch a playoff berth against the Piketon Redstreaks in the regular season and SVC finale. Carson Francis, Shane Combs with you tonight for all the action. Piketon won the toss. They defer to the second half as the Huntington offense will begin tonight with possession. Two return men back deep for the Huntsmen. Dalton Nichols and Landon Neff, the return men for Huntington.
Nice crowd on both sides, really starting to fill up. It should be a great atmosphere this evening.
Jared Kopis, the senior, to boot it away for Piketon. One final time in the regular season. We are underway from the township as Kopis boots it away. And it's fielded at the 10. And there's a return up the middle. He's got room. One man to beat. Cuts down the sideline. And he's tackled at the 10. Dalton Nichols, electric. What a start for the Huntsmen.
Yeah, outstanding, well blocked, big time wedge there. He could drive the truck through that one and gets into the open field and explodes a little bit. And I know in some of the earlier starts for Huntington, they struggled with some field position. Got to love this if you're wearing the green this evening, all the way down inside the 15.
So Frankie Hirsch and the Huntsman offense lead the team out there. They'll start at the Piketon 12-yard line at the 11:47 mark. Hirsch in the shotgun. He drops back to throw. That pass is batted down and incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like Ross got a hand up there, 6'1", there on the end. And, a lot of times that quick passing game, if you can't get home, Carson, that's the next best thing. Go ahead and get really big, really tall. 6'1", gets stretched out there a little bit, able to knock it down.
And we'll have an official's timeout. The clock was running despite the incomplete pass.
I know Chase Hanna was over there too at 6'2". Couldn't tell exactly who. My first reaction was it was Ross, but I know both of them were over there on that side.
They'll reset the game clock to 11:36. We're working through some issues on our score bug. We can assure you the game has started. It'll be second down and 10. Here's a handoff up the middle, gets taken down at about the 6-yard line.
I think Hirsch ended up pulling that back. Good ball handling there.
It'll be 3rd and 4 from the 6. Huntington looking to punch it in early, take advantage of this excellent field position that they started the game with.
Huntington kicker Junior McDonald from earlier in the year been out with injury for a while. Huntington hasn't used the kicking game a lot, so I would assume this is 4-down territory all the way.
Hirsch hands it off, making a man miss, trying to push the pile forward is Isaac Taylor. And the closed fist from the official signals 4th down.
Yeah, walking right in on it. That's got to be close. I mean, you look at the yard marker go. He's got to be almost less than about the length of a football. See if they just take Hirsch straight ahead here.
10:31 left in the first quarter. 4th and 1 at the 3.
Big opportunity for Piketon here if they can sell out in the middle.
Evan Thomas, the deep man. Heavy set for the Huntsmen. Hirsch hands it off up the middle. Ball is
came
loose.
out.
And it looks like it's Piketon football.
Carson looked like they were trying a real quick handoff on the inside. There was a good push and penetration there from the Piketon defense. Couldn't tell if right at the point of exchange, someone ended up blowing that up a little bit, or maybe just the ball comes loose. Either way, great opportunity for Piketon.
So Piketon backs against the wall to start the night, and their defense comes up with a huge goal line stand, 10-11 in the first quarter, and the offense takes over 1st and 10 at the 4. Golian in the shotgun, Jared Kopis to his left. Golian drops back, hits Gavin Blanton on the near sideline. Nice gain on 1st down.
Yeah, trusting the quarterback there, back to the goal line, come out throwing. But I like the call from the standpoint of give him something easy to get the night started on a positive note.
Here's 2nd down. Out on the far side, it's Shanks. And Shanks gets a nice gain, moves the chains. And there's a flag. It's going to come back. This is a holding.
Yeah, you mentioned Shanks wanting to get him involved early. They swing it out to him in space, and the penalty is going to negate it. But good sign for Piketon to be able to get the ball in his hands. That's certainly going to make them a little bit more dynamic than I've seen them on film Carson, in a lot of areas where, as you said, they just haven't had all their weapons available to them.
9:59 reads the clock. It'll be a second down and about 6 for Piketon. Golian in the shotgun. He lost the ball. Bobbled snap, tried to get it out to Jace Johnson. It's incomplete.
Yeah, that's a safe. They're saying it's a safety.
They're going to say it's a safety. Ball went through the end zone.
It went behind them.
Backwards pass gives 2 points to the Huntsmen. With 9:54 left in the first, 2-0 Huntsmen, your score.
Wow. Well, you certainly take it there if you're Huntington. You had the big kickoff return. You go down 4th and inches, have a ball handling mistake, but then the defense comes up with 2 there. Again, from our angle here, it looked like Piketon was looking to swing it out right side and ended up throwing it back behind the line of scrimmage and into the end zone there. And great opportunity now for Huntington.
9:54 left in the first quarter. The backwards pass through the end zone counts as a fumble, and it goes for a safety. Puts the Huntsmen up 2-0 early on.
17, Jared Gillis set the kick.
Kopis will boot it away again. Dalton Nichols and Landon Neff once again the return men for Huntington. Kopis boots it out of bounds. And the Huntsman offense will take back over.
Now, if you're the Huntington offense, still have some good field position here.
Following the kick, the Huntsmen will take over 1st and 10.
After the penalty, it will be 1st and 10 at the 44 for the Huntsmen. Have a little more ground to cover. They couldn't punch it in despite starting their last possession at the 12.
Giving a lot of room to Nichols out here on our near side.
1st and 10. Hirsch hands it off. Flag is down. Isaac Taylor with a nice carry, tackled at about the 46-yard line by Iman Leslie. That will come back.
Carson, I think we even have a second call. That first flag came out right at the snap, and then the other one more a little downfield into the run. So let's see. Certainly the first one looks to be on Huntington. Let's see what they end up with the second one.
9:47 left on the first quarter clock. 2-0 Huntington after a safety forced by the Huntsman defense. A backwards pass through the end zone.
I think the 5 yards from the original compared to the 10 was going to be about a 1 yard difference, Carson. So they went ahead and took the 5 yard because it moved it back, like I said, 1 yard further, back to the 39. It looks like they're going to spot it.
5 yards from the original spot. 1st and 15 at the 39. 2-0 Huntington, your score. With 9:47 left on the first quarter clock. Hirsch in the shotgun, Taylor the deep man. In motion goes Carson McNeil. Here's a handoff up the middle. That's Evan Thomas. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but not much further. Wrestled down by Jacob Bryan and Caleb Johnson of the Redstreaks.
Yeah, nice job at the point of attack by Piketon. I think they ended up giving about a yard, but I think that's going to be really important. Can the front four there really win the point of attack inside the tackles so that Piketon doesn't have to start cheating more people up into the box?
Second down, McNeil motions over. Hirsch rolling out to his left, taking a shot downfield. It's caught. Dalton Nichols on the receiving end of that one gets them right up to the line to gain. Call it 3rd and short.
Yeah, just short, so it's going to make it about a 12-yard completion, it looks like.
We'll have an official's timeout to measure the spot. It looks like Nichols caught that right at the line to gain. We'll quickly step aside. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
There to make the play.
Now 3rd and 16, Hirsch dropping back. He's under pressure, trying to find someone downfield. He keeps it himself. And I'll say he stepped out of bounds. We thank you for sticking with us during our technical difficulties. We should have everything figured out now. I don't know if you could hear, but I am knocking on wood, hoping that that stays true. Anyway, it's 4th down, and Huntington will punt it away.
And Carson, again, early on, the story for Huntington offense, the mistake on the first drive and then the penalty there on the second.
End over end punt gets a good Huntsman roll and down inside the 15. Good coverage by the Huntsman punt team. As Keegan Woodruff downs the punt, and the Redstreaks will once again start inside their own 20.
Yeah, the field position hasn't been great. Obviously, the first time they would take it because they basically, not quite a goal line stop, but certainly on down there deep in the red zone. And it resulted in the safety, this time off the good special teams work of Huntington. So let's see if Piketon can take care of the football and put a drive together.
7:02 left in the first quarter. Gullion in the shotgun. He fakes the give, tries to keep it himself, and he gets wrestled down behind the line. This Huntington defensive line swarming the backfield. Carson McNeil drags him down.
Yeah, loss of 2, almost 3. And I think you're going to see that a lot of cards. It's going to be important for them to get some yardage from the back as well, because you're pretty much, the stat sheet tells you to sell out on the quarterback there on the key.
I'll credit Rhett Phipps on that tackle as well. Second down, going to throw. It's incomplete. Trying to find Noah Ross, and it was almost intercepted by Evan Thomas. It's a great read by Thomas, makes it third down.
Yeah, now third and long, and what happens with the incomplete and some of the tempo that Piketon goes with, sometimes that time of possession can really work against you when you're unable to move the chains.
6:26 left. Gullion drops back again. He's got a man open. Complete. It's Gavin Blanton. But it looks like he's going to be stopped just short of the line to gain. It'll make it fourth down.
It's an interesting call early in the game because you're pretty deep in your territory. They're going to line up and go. Let's see if they just take Gullion straight ahead.
4th and 2. 6 minutes left in the first. Gullion in the shotgun, trips to his left, and Tyler Gullion's going to burn a timeout.
Well, just because he went hard count and called a timeout, I still won't rule out him going for it, right? Week 10. Offense been struggling to get it going a little bit.
Piketon offense has had its ups and downs this season. They've been shut out by Unioto. Zane Trace held them to 6, but they've also had a lot of games where they're able to make a lot of things happen, light up the scoreboard, put up 40, 50 points on a couple given nights.
Well, Coach Gullion's a really good play caller. And when he can get his kids in matchups where they can be successful, he's good at getting them the ball and understanding how to use them. Some nights, as you say, they've just really been beat up front, and they've had trouble protecting the quarterback, and then they've had trouble running it inside. So it's hard for them to develop balance. Obviously, getting a couple kids back is going to help.
Now loaded backfield for the Redstreaks on 4th and 2. Gullion's going to keep it himself. There's a pile. Piketon thinks they got there.
Yeah, the near side
and they will
officials
move
got
the
him
chains.
going. Yeah.
5:51 reads the clock, and Piketon's got a first down.
That's a gutsy call early on, especially when you consider the field position.
Now Piketon hurries back up to the line. 1st and 10, Gullion to throw, taking a shot for Shanks. He's wide open. Trevin Shanks in the clear. Touchdown Redstreaks. 76 yards.
Carson, you talked about it in the pregame, getting Shanks healthy, and that's basically just speed running past the defense. Gullion throws it right out on time, on target, and never breaks stride. And like you said, 76 yards later into the house. What a big-time play to get Piketon on the board.
The third receiving touchdown on the season for Trevin Shanks, and his first since the season opener. Jared Kopis will attempt the extra point for the Redstreaks. 5:30 reads the first quarter clock. Kopis 25 of 29 on extra points. High snap, hold is down. Kopis gets it up, and it is good. Piketon jumps in front of Huntington after a 76-yard touchdown from Luke Gullion to Trevin Shanks. 7-2 your score from the Township. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Back here in the Township, the Piketon Redstreaks take the lead after Luke Gullion finds a wide open Trevin Shanks for a score 7-2 with 5:30 left in the first.
Great bounce back from Piketon there to answer after the early safety.
As a shorter kick from Kopis is bobbled, and Nichols picks it up, trying to get around the outside, and he gets taken down at about the 16 by Noah Ross. Miscues from the Huntsmen special teams unit, unable to field the kick cleanly. And now they're backed up inside their own 20.
Yeah, good angle, good placement of the kick. Nichols tries to come near side and just good coverage. Again, that's good integrity in your lane coverage here on our near side, because the tendency, Carson, sometimes is to go diagonal and chase the football. Good job of Piketon running the lanes and being down there to make the tackle.
They'll spot it at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Huntsmen, 5:22. Hirsch in the shotgun. He's going to give it to Evan Thomas up the middle. Thomas gets a couple on the carry before a pile of Piketon defenders slows him down.
Yeah, ended up getting a little more than I thought there, about 5. And, yeah, good hard run on the inside.
Thomas, 52 rushing yards and a score in the win over Adena last week.
Carson, don't you feel like a lot with Huntington just early on is just the mistakes with the penalties and the one turnover?
2nd and 6 from the 17. 4:40 left. Hirsch gives it up the middle again. And this Piketon defense flies into the backfield and slows down this Huntington run game. Thomas not able to get much there, if any. Credit Braylon Oliver with the tackle for Piketon. Makes it 3rd and 7. They'll call it a loss of 1.
Yeah, big 3rd down here, because in this field position, they probably have to punt it away. So Huntington really needs to possess the football here a little bit and give their defense a chance to rest.
3rd down, Hirsch rolling to the right. He's got a man, it's complete. And wrestled down just near the line. That is Calvin Hirsch on the receiving end.
Now Huntington might have a same type of choice. Yeah, no, they don't. Wow. Because they got it.
The down marker on the far side did not think that he got there, and the official signal 1st down. Moves the chains for Huntington with 3:45 left in the first. Ball spotted at the 23. Hirsch in the shotgun. Hirsch drops back to throw on 1st down. It's incomplete, intended for Calvin Hirsch on the slant route. It goes through his hands.
Yeah, Carson, at the point of at the snap there, probably 8 almost a 9th guy creeping down into the box. So Huntington looking at the matchup on the outside and going to try to loosen them up with the throw. Huntington wants to be physical and run it between the tackles, and it's almost like Piketon's just creeping more and more into the box and just daring them to throw the ball to the outside.
3:26 remaining. 2 tight ends set for the Huntsmen. Phipps and McNeil motion to the right. Hirsch fakes the give, rolling out to his left now, trying to find a man downfield. It's incomplete. Pass was intended for Carson McNeil. Would have given the Huntsmen a 1st down, but instead it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, really well defended there by Piketon. Nothing was there, but then as he started to roll out left, started to have a guy come open, and they just weren't able to connect. And now brings up 3rd and long again. And let's see if Huntington can protect him long enough to get some receivers past the sticks. Huntington's been using a little bit of design rollout. They got to be careful with the hold the flag has ended up hurting him some.
316 trips to the near side. Hirsch taking a shot downfield. It is incomplete, intended for Nichols down the seam. Overthrew him just a little bit, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like had Hirsch running on the outside, had Nichols in on the seam route, and just ended up just overthrown just a little bit. Had a little bit of space there. Good protection from his offensive line.
3 straight incompletions from Frankie Hirsch. Huntsman booted away. Shanks the return man. It doesn't get close to him. Down just before the 50 and a little pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Yeah, the Huntington, you could hear the Huntington sideline all the way up here. Didn't take too kindly to that. You know, it's unique on the grass field, Carson, with a little bit of maybe softer conditions, the way that ball reacts when it hits the, you and I've done so many on the turf, you'll see that's a big part of the kicking game.
We've seen just as equally, though, at places like Unioto, Notre Dame, places where they play on grass where it can have the opposite effect.
Absolutely.
The way the ball rolls. 1st and 10 at the 48 for Piketon. Gullion in the shotgun, trips to the far side. Here's a 1st down screen to Jace Johnson. Johnson's got some speed and uses it to pick up about 5 or 6 yards after the catch. Evan Thomas credited with the tackle.
Yeah, just your basic, wide receiver screen. Pretty much you see it in a lot of offenses now. They clear out and just throw it to their speed guy.
2nd and 5. Here's a handoff to Wyatt Savage. Savage gets about 2 or 3 on the carry before he's brought down. Call it 3rd and 3. Wyatt Savage, another senior on this Piketon offense. 6 carries, 14 yards in the Westfall game last week. 3rd down and 3. Twins on either side of Gullion. And a flag as the snap is brought out. It'll move Piketon back 5 yards.
Yeah, and Huntington was just bringing every linebacker into every gap possible. And daring Piketon to go outside. And it looked like Piketon had a counter to it with an option play, but couldn't get the ball snapped cleanly in the proper formation. Little movement, I think is what they called.
Piketon will line up the exact same 3rd and 7. Gullion dropping back to throw. He's got Blanton on the outside. Blanton's got a 1st down. But another flag down behind the play. They're going to call offensive pass interference.
Yeah, flag comes out a little bit late there, but certainly some space, and said there was some contact to create it.
What's unfortunate, too, is it looked like a good pitch and catch from Gullion to Blanton. Gets wiped away.
Yeah. Yes.
Offensive pass interference on the Redstreaks. 15-yard penalty.
And now this moves Piketon way back. It's about a 25-yard swing after the penalty.
And that's what we talk about all the time. You know, it's just not the stat of penalty. It's what happened on the play versus the penalty. And instead of 1st and 10 all the way up inside the 40, now you're in 3rd and a mile.
3rd and 22. Gullion drops back, setting up a screen for Savage. Savage trying to get to the corner. Gets to the original line of scrimmage before he's taken down, and a flag behind the play. Frankie Hirsch on the tackle. Let's see what the flags are for on the far side.
Penalties really starting to add up here early on.
Another personal foul called on Piketon. This will back them up even further if Huntington elects to accept the penalty. which it looks like they will.
I know it's tempting to make it 4th down, but man, with the amount of yardage you're going to get off of that.
So we'll try again, 3rd and 29.
How many plays you got in the playbook for 3rd and 29?
About 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Trips on the near side. Gullion drops back. He's going to keep it himself on the quarterback draw. Gullion's got some speed, but doesn't get nearly enough. It'll be 4th down. Gullion wrestled down by Caden Birchfield. And now that'll finally bring up 4th down.
Still a positive play for Piketon from a field position standpoint. You get it all the way back just shy of midfield. Now if you're able to execute in your special teams, you can win the battle of field position once again.
Piketon will bring out the punt team. Dalton Nichols, the return man for the Huntsmen. Joe Scott will boot it away for Piketon. High snap, Scott boots it away, flag is down. And it's a short punt, takes a slight Piketon roll down by Leslie at the 29.
Penalties really starting to rack up here, and that might end up being one of our early keys here, Carson, who can just, they're at least going to wave that one off.
I wonder if the officials just got so used to having those ready.
Yeah, they might have just out of instinct just tossed one out there on the snap.
28 seconds left in the first quarter. Huntington will start a new drive at their own 29. Shaky start for this Huntington offense. What do they have to do to get back in their rhythm?
Well, I think they got to clean some things up. They've obviously got to keep the flags off the ground, and they got to find a way to still open up some running lanes. I know Piketon's daring them a little bit, but you know, this has been characteristic of them. They've had some slow first halves on the offensive side over the last month, and they've really been more of a 3rd to 4th quarter team.
1st and 10, Hirsch is going to swing it out to Dalton Nichols on the far side. Nichols trying to break free, but Trevin Shanks lays the wood on the far side. Knocks Nichols out of bounds after a gain of about 3. 7 tackles in the last game for Trevin Shanks, and the Huntsmen will let the clock wind down, bring us to the end of the first quarter. Here from Earl Knight Field in the township, the Piketon Redstreaks have an early 7-2 lead as they fight for their season. We'll step aside and come back for the second quarter. You're watching Ohio High School Football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Back here in the township, it's week 10 of the high school football season, the SVC finale. It's Piketon ahead of Huntington 7-2 as we get set to start the second quarter. Huntington possession at their own 32.
Yeah, and basically what I'm seeing on both sides of the ball, Carson, the defenses have come into the night just absolutely determined to take the inside run game away. So both teams are trying to find some success in the pass game to the outside, and it's led to some different penalties and some flags coming out. Let's see which team can kind of figure out, even if it's on the edge a little bit of the running game.
Rhett Phipps and Carson McNeil motion to the right. Here's a second down handoff to Isaac Taylor, and he's gobbled up. Is Piketon defense swarming the backfield once again. Noah Ross and Braden Scott tag teaming for the TFL. Loss of 5.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about right there. You can be as stubborn as you want with the run game, and sometimes the defense just absolutely puts more people in the box than you can block. And here we are again, 3rd and long. Seems to be the formula on both sides of the ball.
3rd and 12. Hirsch rolling to the right. Hirsch under pressure, has to get it out, and it's incomplete. Kendon Day applying some pressure, forces the incompletion and brings up 4th down.
Yeah, you get to the 3rd and long, and you can go ahead and bring pressure and kind of flush him out of the pocket there and force him to get rid of it. Huntington already looked to put the ball in the air 7 times, 3 of 7, 24 yards, and just having trouble getting anything going on the offensive side.
Huntsmen booted away. Shanks back to return, and it takes another Piketon bounce at midfield. Just dies in that grass. And once again, the Redstreaks will set up at midfield. Shane, as a longtime baseball coach, you kind of know what that feeling's like when you're playing on a field where the grass is a little higher than normal. Sometimes the ball gets into the outfield and just stops moving. Kind of a similar case here in the Huntington punt game.
Yeah, it can like on your baseball analogy, it certainly can move through the infield. Sometimes it sucks it up. It's the same way in the outfield. But yeah, it's kind of just really impacted special teams here early on the night.
Gullion to throw on 1st down. He's got Shanks on the sideline, incomplete. Just threw it a little bit ahead of Trevin Shanks, only got a hand on it.
It might be a night of the big play too, Carson, because like I said, the defenses are so aggressive up against the run, and as a result, even when you do throw it, with that many people up in the box, they're just coming at the quarterback. We've seen the one touchdown so far tonight was the 76-yard strike over the top. That might be the formula to try to score this evening.
Piketon looking to make it 6 straight wins against Huntington. Here's a 2nd down pitch to Wyatt Savage on the far side. Savage makes a man miss and gets wrestled down near the marker.
Yeah, I like the call because, again, it's so hard to find room inside. Go with a little option play, flip it to the edge, and nice little spin move at the end of that. Gets about 9.
Call it 3rd down and 1 for the Redstreaks. Gullion gonna keep it himself. He's got the 1st down and more, pushing his own pile and taken down beyond the 30-yard line. Gullion likes to call his own number, and he does so there to pick up the 1st.
Well, you get 9 from Savage and 12 from Gullion, and all of a sudden you have been able to find a little room to run it. Now you're into that 4-down territory, and the first time tonight we see an offensive unit with a little bit of rhythm.
1st and 10 at the 28. Trips to the near side. Gullion fakes the give. He's firing to Shanks. It's incomplete. Threw it behind him that time. Calvin Hirsch couldn't turn around to try and make a play on it. Brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, the inside fake, and it's hard to tell on the route. It seemed like quarterback, wide receiver wasn't quite on the same page.
Redstreaks quickly back to the line, 2nd and 10. Gullion had trouble with the snap. Savage there to pick it up, and he doesn't get very far. Jackson McNeil had the play read from the jump. Savage able to rebound the ball off of Gullion's shoulder and does it himself. He's luckily able to get a yard out of it.
Yeah, regardless of the gain, just the possession of the football was impressive there. That could have been a disaster play for Piketon, who's starting to move the ball a little bit.
3rd and 9. Gullion drops back and the play's blown dead. Another false start penalty against the Redstreaks.
Yeah, this has got to be starting to really frustrate the Piketon coaching staff. I have, this is unofficial. Let's see, I got 6 penalties for about 55 yards already for Piketon.
Third down and 14. Trevin Shanks on the far side re-enters the game in place of Jacob Bryant. Third down, Gullion looking. He's got Gavin Blanton on the outside. Blanton trying to cut it back in. And he will not get any further.
Going to give him about 8 here and set up a more manageable 4th down try.
Keegan Woodruff there on the stop. We'll bring up 4th down and 7.
Let's see here if Huntington tightens that up a little bit now on the 4th down play.
9:05 left till halftime. And Piketon goes hard count, and it looks like they got the Huntsmen to jump off sides.
Well, that's not quite a 1st down, but it certainly changes some of the different things you feel like you could do on the play call.
Now 4th and 2 for Piketon. Some extra strength enters the game for the Redstreaks. Jacob Bryant and Joseph Scott in to provide some extra blocking.
Sometimes they like to just take those 2 guys and lead the way for Gullion in this situation.
Gullion to keep it on 4th and 2. Gullion's got a hole. He's got the 1st down and more. Once again, the Piketon signal caller does it himself. Moves the chains. Puts the Redstreaks in the red zone.
Yeah, Carson, we've watched that formation through a lot of film work, and then you and I had them against Zane Trace earlier in the year. And they really, really like to go to that in the 4th down situation. They'll just put those 2 guys and almost let them lead through the hole. Put Gullion in right behind him. Good physical football. What, about 11 yards there on the game?
8:33 left till halftime. Huntington calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
8:33 remaining in this first half. Piketon moving the ball down the field, looking to go up 2 scores. So they'll have a 1st and 10 at the Huntington 12. Shane, what have you liked so far about how Piketon has been able to slowly move the ball down the field on this drive?
Well, I like the way they got creative in the run game. I thought it started with the option play. They were having trouble finding room inside, so they went option and got Savage going a little bit, and then that loosened up the box a little bit and allowed Gullion to go a little bit read option, and there on that play was just more of a power option. It looks like they're coming right back out in this formation again.
8:33 on the clock, loaded backfield for the Redstreaks. Gullion to keep it himself once again. Gullion trying to find a lane. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Piketon. Luke Gullion from 12 yards out puts the Redstreaks up 2 scores.
Yeah, I felt more like a statement call there of like, hey, here it is, stop it. And they get the big 1st down run, come right back and get the touchdown run. And really, really good job on the inside there. Offensive line, give them a shout out. Gavin Wright, Malachi Lamberson, Connor Sawyer, Harris Alexander, and Jaden Still doing a job there. Plus the lead blocking was outstanding.
Jared Kopis out to kick the extra point, and a flag down before the snap. It's following the 9th rushing touchdown on the season for Luke Gullion.
I know Joseph Scott was one of those. I didn't catch the other lead blocker on that. I'd like to give that kid a shout out because I thought the blocking was outstanding there.
I'll say Huntington was off sides lining up to kick the extra point, and now after advanced field position. It looks like Piketon going to try and go for two. You know, you get some extra yardage on the PAT. You might as well try and put some extra points on the board. It's what Tyler Gullion likes to do with his team here in Week 10. It's a two-point conversion. Lining up in the same set, Gullion gonna keep it once more, and Gullion walks in with ease on the two-point try. The Luke Gullion drive. He does it himself with his legs for 8 points on that drive after the two-point try. 8:26 left until halftime. 15-2, Piketon leads. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget, as well as 60 months, 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
.826 remaining till halftime. The Piketon Redstreaks ahead of Huntington 15-2 after the octopus from quarterback Luke Gullion. 12-yard rushing touchdown, does it himself on the two-point try. Jared Kopis to boot it away. It's a squib kick attempted onside. Does not nearly go the required 10 yards. And Huntington will have some decent field position to start their next drive.
Well, that's a big play because, again, Huntington wants to come right back out and try to answer this. Last thing you want to do if you're Huntington is get yourself into the second half and be behind two scores, because it just really kind of puts you out of character a little bit. So I think this becomes a really big part of the game for Huntington. Certainly not time to panic, but this is a drive where you want to go down and get some points. I feel like Piketon really found something there in that power formation, and Gullion just running it up inside with a couple lead blockers in behind that good offensive line.
Let's see if Huntington can answer. They'll start in enemy territory for the first time tonight, and they're able to draw the Redstreaks off sides once again. This has been, to keep it frank, it's been a pretty rough start for the Huntsmen offense. I know you talked about how they've been more of a second half team, but just not able to generate anything so far. You've got to think that they got to take advantage of this field position.
Well, and then that penalty helps too, because you've got some good down and distance here.
Here's a 1st and 5 handoff. Here's Isaac Taylor. Taylor makes a couple men miss, flagged down. But a nice shifty run by Isaac Taylor. It'll be coming back.
And again, the frustration is going to mount. Again, you end up running the ball all the way down inside the 35 for a first down and a hold. They dropped the flag right on the 35, so it's going to come back to about the 45, so it's going to be right about the original yard line when this whole thing started. So
they'll call it 1st and 9 for the Huntsmen back at the 45. Carson McNeil, the tight end, on the right. Here's a swing pass on 1st down to Taylor. Taylor trying to get around the defender. He gets blown up, but a flag down on the tackle. Noah Ross was one of the first defenders there for Piketon.
Felt like maybe a face mask when they went to get him to the ground.
.757 reads the clock here at Huntington. It will be a personal foul, face mask, so 15 yards and a first down. Huntington getting some help on this drive by way of penalties. puts them at the 34.
Well, we certainly know what Coach Gallian's chat is going to be at the half about. And it's got to be the penalties that are starting to really rack up here.
1st and 10. Hirsch hands it off. Here's Evan Thomas. Thomas runs into a wall. Driven back and down. Noah Ross and Malachi Lamerson teaming up on the stop. Gain of 1.
Huntington's had some success to the edge, but in getting to the edge, they've had some holding problems. Not necessarily at the point of attack, Carson. A lot of times it's been just a little bit more downfield on the second level.
2 tight ends set for the Huntsmen. Phipps on the far side, McNeil near. Hirsch rolling, finds a man open, complete. Dalton Nichols hauls it in, puts the Huntsmen on the doorstep of the red zone.
Nice route, nice ball. Use a little designed rollout to get a little protection. Well done.
6:55 remaining till half. 1st and 10 at the 22. Huntsman going heavy left side. Both tight ends lined up. Here's a handoff to Isaac Taylor. Taylor gets to the sideline and pushed out by Shanks, and a flag down away from the play.
I think he threw another one on the same kid, so I think you're going to have one after the whistle, and then I think you had a reaction right after the play. They could go. Now I'm not sure exactly what the first one was. I mean, there was 2 involved there. There was certainly another flag that had come out based on, I think, a player who might have said something in response to the first flag. Let's see them sort it all out here.
Joseph Scott was one of the Redstreaks on the initial penalty. He is subbed out of the game momentarily.
I was watching a little bit more to the ball, so I did not see the first flag. I believe the second flag is going to be on Piketon. All right. So
offsetting personal fouls cancel each other out. Ball be spotted at the end of the last play. So 2nd down and 7, 6:48 to go in the half. Huntsman in the red zone for the first time tonight. Here's a handoff. Isaac Taylor. Taylor trying to get to the outside, gets another couple yards before again being chased down by Trevin Shanks. Noah Ross also in on the play.
Yeah, good physical run there and get over on the left side. I thought that was a good kick out block from Kaden Kinzer, the right guard. He was pulling over left side, went out there and had a pretty nice block at the point of attack. Again, that's what I'm talking about. If you don't feel like something's in the middle there, can you get something to the edge and still get Taylor a little bit more north and south as he turns that corner?
6 minutes to go till half. 3rd down. Hirsch rolling, trying to find something. He's got a man, incomplete. Pass batted down by Kendon Day. Intended for Nichols on the crossing route. And that brings up 4th and 4. And this is a situation, Shane, too. We talked about pregame. Your kicker, Troy McDonald, hurt. You don't have your kicker as an option, so this is really 4-down territory from any side on Piketon's side of the field.
Yeah, Troy McDonald, known around the SVC as Junior McDonald, just an incredible 2-3 sport athlete, really 4-sport athlete if he does everything. He's been quite a loss for Huntington.
Evan Thomas, the deep man. Hirsch to roll again on 4th down, taking a shot to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Huntington. Dalton Nichols hauls in the grab, and the Huntsmen find the end zone for the first time tonight.
Big time throw, big time catch, fourth down. You had no choice but to turn it loose. Not a lot of space, pretty tight window. Give Nichols a lot of credit looking it all the way in as well. And, man, that's a big, big play for Huntington. That would have been kind of just another frustration and a little bit of a disappointment not to get anything out of the drive. Instead, now you line up for 2 to try to cut this thing to 5.
Hirsch under center for the 2-point try. Isaac Taylor, the deep man. They'll go to Taylor, and he's blown up by who else? Trevin Shanks. Like lightning into the backfield, blows up the 2-point try. But not before Huntington gets it back down to 1 score on the touchdown grab from Dalton Nichols, 15-8 with 5:44 left till halftime. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top-quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
5 minutes and 44 seconds remaining until halftime here from Huntington. As the Huntsmen finally found some success on the offensive end, a 16-yard touchdown pass from Frankie Hirsch to Dalton Nichols brings it back to a 1-score game.
Yeah, big time answer there to come down, and like I said, right when you have to have it, Hirsch delivers a ball in a tight window. Nichols makes a great catch.
Huntsman will boot it away. Short kick and fielded at the 38-yard line by Nolan Childers. And the Piketon Redstreaks offense comes back out onto the field, looking to get this lead back up to 2 scores. A tremendous drive the last time out, courtesy of Luke Gullion, showing off the speed and the footwork.
Yeah, Huntington's going to have to show an answer to that power formation where they get Savage, and I believe it was Savage back there with Scott, and they were just leading the way as Gullion was running. Come back out in their more traditional set here where the one running back will join him in the backfield. That's where with Savage you'll get that read option.
1st and 10 at the 38, 5:42 to go till halftime. Gullion pitches it out to Savage on the near side, and Savage is wrangled up behind the line of scrimmage. Gordon Cyrus, perfect read on the option. 2nd down after a loss of 1.
Yeah, really good assignment football there, just staying real true to doing your job, and good tackle, went low on him.
Quickly, 2nd down pass for Jacob Bryant is caught and hauled in down the seam, 1st down. Piketon going with some tempo here on their next offensive drive. Jacob Bryant hauls it in for a 1st down.
Well, and I think Piketon got away. I think the wide receiver here on the near side, I think it was Blanton, kind of almost tripped forward at the snap. Might have got away with one.
1st and 10. Gullion finds Blanton on the sideline. It's complete. And a penalty thrown down at the 40. It's offensive pass interference.
Pretty much same call as earlier. They're saying as he gets to the top of his route, just putting the hands into the defensive back. That's what they're calling.
The penalty is an offensive pass interference on the Redstreaks.
4:44 remaining until halftime. The offensive pass interference Drives Piketon back a mile, 2nd and 25.
Great opportunity for Huntington defense. See if they can use this field position to get a stop.
Call it 1st and 25 rather. Twins on either side of the Piketon offense. Gullion drops back, looking to take a shot. He's under pressure. Flag down in the backfield, and Gullion goes down at the line of scrimmage. Cannon Kinzer making the tackle from behind. I'll call holding against the Redstreaks.
I feel like you almost have to keep taking the penalties just because of field position. I know it's 1st and forever. You could make it 2nd, but that was even in the backfield, Carson. So take a look at where this thing's going to end up, because they've got that flag down at like the 3?
Call 1st and 35. Shane, we're just having all the different combinations of down and distance you could possibly think of. It 3rd and 39 earlier, 1st and 35 now. 4:37 remaining in the first half.
And again, if you're Piketon, if nothing else, just take care of the football back here. You don't want anything crazy from a turnover perspective deep in the territory.
Wyatt Savage to the right of Gullion. They'll hand it off to Savage on 1st and a country mile. Savage trying to make up some ground and gets brought down by a trio of Huntsmen. Jackson McNeil, one of the Huntsmen, in on that stop, as well as Carson McNeil.
Well, this is where if you're Huntington, you have to be really, really disciplined during the play and after the play. You can't have any silly mistakes that are going to allow Piketon out of a 2nd and 31 hole.
3:50 to go till halftime. Noah Ross in motion. They fake the handoff to Ross. Gullion trying to find something. He'll do it with his legs again. Gullion gets to the sideline after a nice pickup. 3rd down. Gordon Cyrus will get the credit for driving him out of bounds. 3rd and 22.
And again, even if you're unable to get it all as Piketon, you'd like to get about half of it and continue to try to set your punter up to flip the field a little bit more. If you're Huntington, you'd love to get a negative play here.
Trips on the near side and a penalty called. They're going to get a sideline warning against Huntington.
Sideline warning on the Huntsmen.
Huntington uses the dead time to make a substitution. 3:39 to go in the half.
Huntington's got to be careful up there. That's a little bit better. They're almost lined up off sides. We have a really good look at it right here.
3rd and 22. They're just going to hand it off to Savage, and the road is closed. Carson McNeil denies the carry from Savage, brings up 4th down.
Yeah, so if you're Piketon here, you're going to let the clock run. That's a good timeout by Huntington. Really, really good clock management, Carson, because they were going to be able to run that thing all the way under 3 minutes before they had to punt it away. So if you're Huntington, you probably save yourself at least 1, if not 2, maybe 3 snaps when you get the ball back.
Huntington under the reign of head coach Clay Beeler in his 3rd season was a back-to-back member of the All-SVC squad as a player at Huntington. He transferred to Chillicothe, where he was honorable mention All-Ohio under head coach Bill Davidson, who now serves on this Huntington coaching staff as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement here in the Huntington program this year. They've been coming for a year or two now. Right now, they're going through a little tick in enrollment. They're up to about 5th biggest enrollment, I believe it is, on the boys' side in the SVC. And they have 10 seniors on the roster. I believe it's 10 juniors. We talked about that in the pregame if you weren't with us. A lot of older kids involved, and and it shows up in the trenches and in the overall physicality that they play with.
Joseph Scott to punt it away for Piketon. Dalton Nichols, the deep man for the Huntsmen. Strong punt from Scott, fielded by Nichols inside the 30, and he's wrestled down by Iman Leslie. Excellent coverage by this Piketon punt team. And that'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Huntsmen at their own 27.
Yeah, good special teams play there. And look, if you're Huntington, you've settled back into the game. You got it cut from 15-2 to 15-8. Then you get a stop. Now you have the ball back. You have 3 minutes to do something with it. So clock's not a huge factor just yet. But I always feel like this first down is the one you got to get, Carson, because the last thing you want is incomplete, where you have to give it back to Piketon.
Hirsch looking to throw on 1st down. He's got a man on the far sideline, complete, and wrestled down on the sideline. That was Calvin Hirsch on the receiving end of that throw, gain of 6. 2:53 left until halftime.
Didn't get quite as much as I thought, but the good news is he did get out of bounds. Stop that clock.
Calvin Hirsch and Dalton Nichols, the 2 receivers on the near side. Frankie Hirsch rolling out again. He's got a man open. It's Nichols, complete for a 1st down. Dalton Nichols pulls in another catch to move the chains. The connection between Hirsch and Nichols has been a favorable one for the Huntsmen.
Yeah, the design rollout helps give him a little bit more time. He throws a good ball on the run. Huntington's been able to clean up a little bit their blocking as they set that edge.
Here's a 1st down handoff to Isaac Taylor. Taylor trying to create some space, fights his way forward to a 1st down. But a flag down in the Huntsman backfield.
And again, it's going to come all the way back. There's a 10-yard run where just really good patience. I tell you, Taylor does such a good job of just staying low and keeping the shoulders north-south. But again, the flag really hurting them. So here's another one of those examples. The penalty is going to read 10 yards, but when you think about where the run went, it's really about a 20-yard difference. What a big play.
2 minutes and 40 seconds on the 1st half clock. 1st down and 20 for the Huntsmen. Evan Thomas, the deep man. Hirsch looking to throw. Hirsch is under pressure, and he's dropped by a squad of Redstreaks. Noah Ross, Connor Salyer, and Joe Scott all in on the sack.
Yeah,
they'll give Frankie Hirsch a gain of 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think they ended up, the way he was able to sneak his way through there, they moved that up a yard. Now you're coming up on 2 minutes. There's 2 things to think about here. If you're Piketon, if you get a stop here, do you use a timeout?
Hirsch to throw on 2nd and long. He's taking a shot downfield for Nichols. It's hauled in. Inside the 15, Dalton Nichols catches it in stride and puts the Huntsmen back in the red zone. A beautiful ball from Frankie Hirsch.
Yeah, it really was right around 40, probably 46 yards. And what a great ball. Remember, he had him on the seam earlier and kind of threw it right over the top of him. That time dropped it right in. Well thrown.
Well, 1st and 10 at about the 18. Thomas, the deep man. Hirsch rolling out, looking to throw again. He's going to try and do it with his legs. He throws and fires. It's caught.
How good was that?
Dalton Nichols again for the touchdown. Piketon arguing that Hirsch crossed the line of scrimmage. It appears he did not, and he finds a wide open Dalton Nichols for the score.
That was a big time play there. Just he shows his athleticism, rolling left. kind of goes to one foot, almost leaves his feet, throwing back across your body. Probably not exactly the way you teach it, but when you have a great athlete, great playmaker, you kind of turn him loose and let him do his thing, and that was fun to watch.
Second time that Hirsch and Nichols have connected for 6 points. And now the 2-point conversion to take the lead with 1:20 remaining.
This is going to be a big factor in the game tonight. Huntington's inability to have anything in the kicking game. Their 2-point conversion plays are going to be big, big factors.
The timeout called by Huntington to discuss this 2-point conversion. That was just an excellent display of field vision from Frankie Hirsch, rolling out through traffic, threads the needle to Dalton Nichols for the score.
Well, and it's the things you can't coach. You know, you can coach certain fundamentals and certain things, but every now and then when you've got a special athlete, when he starts to get into that third year, now really at the end of it, he's becoming a senior almost right there before. All right, you just got to turn him loose and let him make special plays, and that's what he did right there. I love the timeout here, Carson. Let me throw this at you because we pretty much feel like Huntington doesn't have a whole lot of ability to go to the kicking game, right? So in a game that is going to have pretty solid kicking on the one side with Piketon, and they've already converted a 2-point, these are huge plays. These are points that Huntington's got to be able to convert because on the last touchdown they didn't get it. If you go another one and you didn't give it, that's a 4-point swing. So, I mean, these are I like the timeout to make sure you know exactly what you want to go with. Everybody on the same page. You've got to be able to execute here. Huntington protected by that early safety a little bit because that gives them 2 points. But again, you just can't give away 2, 4, 6 points off of touchdowns throughout the evening.
Thomas, the deep man. Tight ends motion to the left. 2-point conversion to take the lead. Hirsch rolling, fires to the end zone. It's caught. Carson McNeil hauls in the 2-point try, and the Huntsmen have the lead for the first time since it was 2-0.
Yeah, what a great call. Great ball handling. By the time he waggles out of there, just wide open, and it's just pitch and catch at that point. And if you're Huntington, you've just played an outstanding second quarter. Now let's see if their special teams and defense can avoid letting Piketon do something big here, because we will have Piketon football coming out, correct? So this becomes an important minute 20 because you don't want to allow Gallion and company to double dip on you.
Second time that Frankie Hirsch and Dalton Nichols have connected for a scored passing touchdown, number 17 on the season for the junior. Jared Johnson out to boot it away for the Huntsmen. Gavin Blanton back deep to return. Line drive kick fielded inside the 30 and out of bounds shortly thereafter. Braden Conkle fields the kick, shaves off about 2 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, the momentum just so much brought him our way, didn't it? I mean, just that the way, again, we've talked about it 2 or 3 times tonight, the way that ball reacts off the natural grass compared to the turf. That ball just kind of died on him a little bit there, and he went ahead and fielded it. Can't really risk letting it hit the ground one more time thinking it'll go out of bounds, because if it doesn't, that becomes a live football. So he certainly did the right thing.
They'll spot it at the 31-yard line. Minute 18 to go till the break. Piketon going 5 wide. Gallion in the backfield all by himself. 1st and 10, going to throw. He's got Shanks on the short completion and taken down by Isaac Taylor immediately on the grab.
Nice early completion. The only thing you don't like is that with it being less than 10 yards in the middle of the field, the clock's still running, under a minute now.
Going to throw again, another screen pass to Shanks, and Shanks into the open field, gets past the 50 and he's a tough man to bring down. First down for the Redstreaks. Trevin Shanks fires out of a cannon, moves the chains, puts the Redstreaks back in Huntington territory. 5-wide look again for Piketon. Blanton in motion, and the play's blown dead.
Had some movement. Nothing else. It does stop the clock for Piketon. I know that sounds funny because you give up the 5, but it was taking them a minute to get up there and get going once they put the clock in motion.
Call it 1st and 15.
I have that down as Piketon's 11th penalty of the evening.
Official stoppage in play as our officials will talk things over with the Huntington sideline. First and 15 at the 46. Gullion drops back. He's got Blanton through his hands and incomplete. Tried to find Blanton on the out route, trying to get him out of bounds, but it falls incomplete. Regardless, we'll stop the clock.
Yes, so 28 seconds here. Remember, Piketon does have a little bit of ability in the field goal kicking if they can get it on down inside the red zone.
Gullion fakes the give to Blanton, and he's going nowhere. Jackson McNeil into the backfield. It's his house. Puts Gullion on the ground, 3rd and 18.
Let's just see if Piketon's going to go ahead and take it on into the locker room there after the loss there.
It looks like that is what the Redstreaks will elect to do. End of the first half here in the township. The Huntsmen in front by 1 point, 16-15, as both teams playing for the right to keep their seasons alive. We'll step aside from halftime here in the township. Huntsmen ahead by 1. You've been watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance, Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget as well as 60 months 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student-athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Experience the hometown Chevrolet difference. Check out our huge selection of Silverado trucks, Equinox SUVs, and the latest Chevy models. Priced to move and ready to hit the road today. Plus, with the Hometown Advantage, you get free oil changes for life and a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty at no extra cost. That's real value and real peace of mind. Your Hometown Chevrolet is proud to be your trusted local dealer of new and pre-owned inventory, delivering unbeatable deals and top-notch service. Visit us today at 501 West Emmett Avenue in Waverly or start shopping online at yourhometownchevy.com.
For 175 years, the Glockner name has stood for trust. Today, that promise continues. Every time your family turns the key. Generations have trusted us for one reason. We never stopped caring. From preschool drop-offs to road trips, you leave our service center knowing your family is in the safest hands possible. 175 years of social proof that this isn't just service. It's a promise from our family to yours.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Earl Knight Field here in Huntington Township as the halftime festivities wrap up here in the township. The Huntsmen leading Piketon 16-15 through one half of play here in this regular season finale with a lot on the line. Carson Francis, Shane Combs with you again here from the township. Shane, pretty exciting first half and gives us a lot to look forward to in the final 24 minutes of the regular season.
Yeah, it really does. I love the chess match back and forth. You could tell early on, Carson, that both teams were going to put extra people in the box and just absolutely force the opposing defense to do something else. Well, Piketon was able to get the big pass play for the 76-yard touchdown pass, and they came back and they did find a little bit of power on the inside run game. Opened up the 15-2 lead. Remember, we had the early safety. But then what's interesting with Huntington, I think where they've really have grown in the last calendar year is their ability with their quarterback Hirsch to roll out and spread it out a little bit. The Hirsch-Nichols tandem duo has been really, really good. I've got Frankie Hirsch unofficially for 10 of 15 up over 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, both there to Nichols, or excuse me, yeah, to Nichols had the 7 catches, 122. So, man, that's been really impressive to see how they could open it up there in the second quarter, and then they were able to convert on that last 2-point play to get the 1-point advantage. But, yeah, I think the other big story here, unofficially, 11 penalties for 105 on the Piketon side. That's something that I obviously got to clean up. Even Huntington had 5 for 45. But, yeah, if you're Coach Gallion, you can't be very happy with that because there's way too many times where that really flipped the field from a field position standpoint.
Not at all, and we've seen tonight where when Piketon plays penalty-free football, they're able to do a lot of damage. We had the drive where Piketon got their first points when Gallion hit Shanks for a 76-yarder, and then Gallion called his own number on multiple occasions, including for a 12-yard touchdown scramble and the 2-point conversion to follow.
Well, you did a great job in the pregame of highlighting some weapons that Gallion would have back tonight. They were able to use those early, but think about some of the mistakes. They've had 2 offensive pass interference calls just on a little push-off on the outside. That cost them 15 yards on both occasions. Instead of getting a 7-8 yard completion, you're backing up 15. So those are some of the things they've got to clean up. They're going to get the ball first here. As always, I know you and I talk about it each Friday night. This opening drive of the third quarter, really, really important for Lady Momentum to see where she's going to live.
Jared Johnson tees it up on the 40 to get the second half underway. The Huntsmen looking to go back to the playoffs for just the second time in school history. Piketon trying to spoil Huntington's season. The second half from the township is underway. The kick fielded at the 35, and what a collision at the 40. Keegan Woodruff on the kickoff coverage makes the tackle. And Piketon will have it to start the second half.
Still good job of securing the ball there. Still good field position for Piketon. Huntington does a good job of picking their spots. They don't have the ability to kick it real deep, so they try to use some different angles and some shorter kicks.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 39. So Wyatt Savage in the backfield with Luke Gallion. Gallion drops back. He's going to swing it out to Noah Ross. It's incomplete. Threw it right to him. Ross couldn't quite look it in. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Blanton was just going to run a clear-out route, and they were going to try to get it in the Ross hands in space, and just probably did the old peek ahead, run with it before you catch it. And lucky for Piketon, that ball had a little bit of diagonal in front. You know, we've already seen what can happen on balls behind the line of scrimmage tonight.
2nd and 10, trips on the near side. Gullion fakes the give. He's going to keep it himself through contact. Took a mean hit by Evan Thomas. Wrestled down by a couple of Huntsmen as well from behind, including Jackson McNeil. Called a gain of 6, 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, big 3rd down play, you know, right around midfield here, depending on how close it was on 4th. You could certainly see Coach Gullion roll the dice. You watched him do it in deeper territory earlier, but this becomes a pretty big play here to start the second half.
Twins on either side. Gullion to throw. Pass is deflected and incomplete. Ball wobbled out of the hands of Gullion. It was tipped by a Huntsman defender. And this Huntington defense forces 4th down right away.
Couldn't tell who got it. Phipps and McNeil both have some size over on this side. We talked about that in the short passing game. A lot of times if you can't get home, the next best thing you can do is size is get those hands up. And what a big deflection that was.
Redstreaks will bring out the punt team after the Huntsman defense forces the 3 and out. Joe Scott will boot it away. Nichols back deep to return. It's a high wobbly kick. Takes a bounce at the 30. And it will die right there down by Leslie. And the Huntsmen will take over.
Got a flag back here in the area where the punt was taking place.
Oh, this could be huge.
Oh, it could be really big here.
Could give Piketon a 1st down.
That's right at 5 yards, right?
It was 4th and 4, so they just get the extra yard on the penalty. A huge break for Piketon.
Well, we talked about the penalty yardage at halftime. Piketon, 11 of them for 105. Huntington, 5 for 45. But sometimes it's not how much, it's when they take place. And that one's basically the equivalent of a turnover in a lot of ways because it costs you possession.
Another game of interest in our area we want to keep you updated on. End of the 3rd quarter from Joe Burrow Stadium in the Plains. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes ahead of Athens 20-6 in a battle of unbeatens. 1st and 10 at midfield. Gullion to throw. It's intercepted.
He's gone.
Woodruff, 1 man to beat. Stiff arms. And he's still going. Wrestled down at the 2.
Give Gullion a lot of credit. Didn't quit on the play. I thought for sure at the point of the catch he was gone. Nonetheless, does get it all the way back to the 2-yard line. Good hustle from the quarterback there, but outstanding. Reed just jumped the route.
Keegan Woodruff, the junior, jumps in front of a pass from Gullion, takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Huntsmen. That's the break that the Huntsman defense needed. It got a few big stops at the end of the 1st half and the pick by Keegan Woodruff to set them up at the 2. Heavy set on 1st and goal. Hirsch is going to hand it off to Taylor. Taylor gets stood up, and he's not going to get any further. We saw on the first drive of this game, Shane, Huntington had the ball at the 12-yard line. Piketon able to stand its ground and hold them out of the end zone.
Yeah, you're right.
Can they repeat that?
That was huge, and you know there's a great example there. Taylor, just a physical back, just nothing there. He's at least able to push his way to maybe about a half yard. But you make a great point, Carson, about the opening drive.
Thomas, the deep man. Here's a handoff to Taylor. Pile at the goal line. And they're going to say he's short of the goal line on the initial signal. Huntington thinks they have it, and they do. Touchdown, Huntsmen. The second signal by the officiating crew. It's Isaac Taylor, a touchdown from a yard out. And the Huntsmen can extend it to 2 scores with the 2-point try.
Well, again, we talked about these 2-point plays. Here's another one right here at 22-15. If you're able to punch this one in, now all of a sudden you put yourself up that extra possession, which could really, really play a factor as teams start chasing points throughout the evening.
Huntington currently the 12th seed in Division 6, Region 24. A win would all but secure a playoff spot. Hirsch under center on the two-point try, lost the football. And it doesn't matter who recovered it. It was picked up by Piketon. And the two-point try unsuccessful. It stays at a one-score game.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. If you weren't with us in the first half, the McDonald injury earlier in the year, not just his overall football and athleticism, but the kicking game has pretty much left the arsenal of Huntington. So now on the 3 touchdowns tonight, what do we got? 1 of 3 now on the conversion plays. So that could be a factor as you get deep into this game.
10-11 left in the third quarter. A 1-yard rush from Isaac Taylor to find the end zone. That miscue on the two-point conversion, all the more important. Piketon can now tie it up with a touchdown and an extra point. Short memory here you got to have for this Piketon offense after the interception by Keegan Woodruff set up Huntington to punch it in.
Start the half, they went with a shorter kick over here near side. Let's see if they try to find a hole. They've been trying to work some sideline.
Johnson, short boot to the near side, fielded at the 25. And the return man gets up to about the 40-yard line as Nolan Childers scoops up the short kick and gives Piketon some decent field position to start.
Yeah, made a pretty good play on that skip. Again, that live ball is always a tough play for the kickoff return team, and did a nice job there. And again, field position not the problem. If you're Piketon, you got to just be able to get something going. Obviously, the big interception set up the early second half touchdown for Huntington.
1st and 10 at the 42, trips to the far side. Golian tosses it out to Savage on first down. Savage trying to get around to the outside, and he gets upended behind the line by Frankie Hirsch. Comes in out of that corner position. Gets the TFL for a loss of 2.
Yeah, great job left side of the defensive front there for Huntington to string the play out. Then Hirsch comes up from his secondary position and runs support and goes low, makes the nice tackle, but really, really good group effort defensively there.
9:30 remaining here in the third quarter. Trips now on the near sideline. Golian to throw. He's got Blanton complete on the far sideline.
A little bit of a shorter pass there. That some of those stop patterns that Piketon's had some success with. Remember the 2 pass interference calls earlier in the game, so you know that's got to be in Blanton's head a little bit, and that allows that defensive back maybe to push a little quicker on the ball.
Call it 3rd down and 9. 9:22 rather in the third quarter. Golian to throw on 3rd down. Golian has got Johnson open over the middle, complete. Moves Piketon across midfield. Jace Johnson finds an open spot and picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, about 12 yards, just finds an open spot, and you're right, sits down there for his quarterback. Low throw, he goes down, gets the hands underneath it, and moves the chains.
Now 1st and 10 at the 45, 9 minutes remaining in the quarter, and Coach Golian's going to want a timeout for Piketon. We will quickly take it with them. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
9:01 remaining here in the third quarter as Piketon trailing Huntington 22-15. They have the ball at the Huntington 45. This Piketon Redstreaks squad currently standing 17th in Division 5 Region 19. They need a lot to happen to secure a spot in the postseason, but their number one priority, get a win and spoil Huntington's postseason hopes. Blanton in motion on first down. They'll hand it off to Blanton on the end around. Gavin Blanton's got some room. Gavin Blanton able to pick up the first down.
18, Gavin Blanton will carry 7.
Kind of a new look for Piketon there. They don't use him in the run game a lot.
They're going to say it was down a yard short, 2nd and 1 at the 36. Gullion to throw. Here's a screen pass out to Shanks. Shanks into the open field. Shanks trying to break a tackle. Gets wrestled down by Calvin Hirsch inside the 30. 8:27 on the third quarter clock.
Yeah, just a different looking offense with Shanks available. Big play capability.
1st and 10 at the 28. Gullion fakes the give. He's got to keep it himself. Runs into a tag team of Huntsmen defenders. Rhett Phipps and Jackson McNeil collide on either side of Gullion. Brings him down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, never even respected the running back there. Just sold out on the quarterback, and once he pulled it back, had 2 green jerseys waiting on him.
You saw Gullion call his own number a lot in the first half. Huntington so far able to adjust. Trips on the near side, 2nd down. Gullion lost the football. There's a scramble for it. Huntington saying they have it.
They're going to say incomplete pass. They're going to say the arm went forward. And that certainly might have been what the arm was doing. I think he lost the football, but I do see what the official is saying, Carson. That's a really, really tough call live because I think he is personally trying to hold the ball and bring it back, but the hand was going forward. So once he obviously blows the play dead, it's dead. So break for Piketon there, but I certainly understand what the official was seeing.
Head referee Brandon Leith with the quick whistle blows the play dead on the incomplete pass. 7:25 left in the third quarter. Gullion in the shotgun. Gullion drops back to throw, trying to look downfield. Under pressure, flag down. Gullion calls his own number, gets a block. Multiple flags down. It's laundry night here in the township.
Well, I think in the back, the first flag back here in the back, I think they got Steele for a holding. Then the second one there, it's going to depend on how they want to work. They're certainly coming in from the backside, and it was kind of late. The ball carrier was kind of going out of bounds.
Blindside block. On the Redstreaks. It's a 15-yard penalty. We'll make it 3rd and 25 for the Redstreaks.
So I'm guessing they're only calling the one penalty on Piketon then.
Well, I thought for sure the first flag that came in was a hold in the backfield. They must have picked that one up. Because I would think the 10 yards from where that was would have been the better penalty. Maybe they picked that one up. Maybe we didn't see that the way we thought we did. Nonetheless, got 3rd and forever here.
We'll call it 3rd and 25 at the 40. 7:08 left in the third quarter. Gullion looking to throw, taking a shot for Johnson downfield. Did he hang on to it? They say he did. Jace Johnson falling away, hauls it in with 2 hands.
What a big time throw and catch there, right when you needed it the most. Huntington had him in 3rd and forever, and you give up about that's got to be close to 25-yard completion. They're going to go tempo. Huntington's not set here.
Gonna blow the play dead. Timeout, Huntington. That was an amazing throw from Gullion. And Jace Johnson backpedaling, turns, back shoulder grab, puts the Redstreaks in the red zone.
Put a star next to that one because, again, you know, you've got the 3rd and long. Huntington with a great opportunity here halfway through the 3rd quarter to get their defense off the field, and now got Piketon into the red zone looking to go tie this thing up.
You know, I mentioned this in the first half, maybe during the pregame. Jace Johnson missed the first 7 games of the season with an injury. He came back, and he's just been another weapon that Gullion's been able to throw to. They've utilized him very well tonight.
Yeah, they just, earlier in the year when we watched them, they just weren't nearly this dynamic in the pass attack. You know, they've got the possession receiver of Blanton, but what Shanks does is allows them to hit the home run. And then, yeah, obviously someone like Johnson allows a little bit of a variety in the pass game as well.
So 1st and 10 at the 15, 6:54 on the clock. Savage to the left of Gullion. First down, Gullion gonna keep it himself. Gullion up the middle. Creates a pile and falls forward inside the 5. 1st and goal, Piketon.
Outstanding lead block by Savage there. Went right up in the hole and really threw a nice block to clear the way for Gullion. Gain of about, probably 11.
Call it 1st and goal at the 3, 6:30. Clock reads here at the Township. Loaded backfield now for Piketon. Savage and Joe Scott. Gullion gonna keep it himself. Gullion collides with the defender at the goal line. Short by about a yard.
Yeah, big time hit at the point of attack there. Live to play another down if you're the Huntington defense. And again, the way the Knights game's gone, just every time you make them snap it one more time, I guess you never know. Maybe a penalty, maybe a fumble.
Now a pistol set for Piketon. Gullion again on 2nd and goal. Gullion this time crosses the goal line and he's in for a touchdown. Flag down after the play, but Luke Gullion finds Pater on the ground for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, good physical run. Nice little move there to get across the goal line. You're right. The 2 flags that had come out seem to be toward the back of the end zone after the signal.
5:46 left in the 3rd quarter. It's a 2-yard keeper from Luke Gullion. Puts Piketon an extra point away from tying.
Oh, they called it offsetting again, so touchdown good.
It appears Tyler Gullion is leaving his offense out there. He wants to go for 2 and take the lead back. Or will he? Think he was awaiting the ruling on the penalty, and after they signal offsetting penalties, he will trot out Jared Kopis for the extra point.
Obviously a big play here for the point after. We've highlighted it throughout the night. I really think these are going to be quite a factor in our outcome.
Out of the hold of Braylon Oliver. Good snap. Hold, kick is away, and it clears the uprights. Kopis sinks his 2nd PAT of the night, and we are all tied at 22 with 5:46 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here in Week 10, you're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
For 175 years, the Glockner name has stood for trust. Today, that promise continues. Every time your family turns the key. Generations have trusted us for one reason. We never stopped caring. From preschool drop-offs to road trips, you leave our service center knowing your family is in the safest hands possible. 175 years of social proof that this isn't just service. It's a promise from our family to yours.
Jared Kopis teeing up the ensuing kickoff after his extra point following a Luke Gullion 2-yard touchdown run. Ties things up at 22 apiece with 5:46 remaining here in the third quarter of this Week 10 SVC showdown. There's a line drive kick from Kopis, fielded just beyond the 30, and there's a lane for the return. McNeil in the clear, flag down in the backfield. Carson McNeil still going, taken down inside the 10, but it's coming back. Carson McNeil, one of the up men, showing off the speed on the return.
And again, the flags are going to play a huge role here. We had a second flag coming in here. Remember, we had a sideline warning earlier. So I don't know if that ends up being a factor here. Flag was dropped at the 35, just about 5 yards in the return.
Signal from our head referee is a holding on the Huntsman return.
So that's the second one. That's another 5.
Our head referee, Brandon Leith, gives us the signal. The big return from Carson McNeil is wiped away, and that backs up Huntington to their own 20. 5:36 reads the timer.
You're talking about, what would you say, they're about 55-yard difference in terms of field position.
1st and 10 at the 20. Here's Hirsch. He's going to hand it off to Thomas. Evan Thomas up the middle's got some room. Wrestled down near midfield by Iman Leslie and Luke Gullion. After the big kick return gets wiped off, Evan Thomas helps the cause and gets a huge chunk of yardage back.
Not a lot going on in the Huntington run game in the first half. It was all through the air. Good sign there as Thomas gets loose for 30.
Now we'll go back to Thomas on 1st and 10. Thomas creates a huge pile, takes a handful of Redstreaks to bring him down. Brings up 2nd and short. Coming up on 5 minutes to go here in the third.
We've seen this in the second half with Huntington. They've been able to get the run game going.
2nd down. Here's another handoff to Thomas.
I think he had a cramp in the backfield there. I think that's what it was with Phipps. So it's going to be 1st down as they move the chain.
1st and 10 at the 32. Bunch set to the right side. Here's another handoff. This time it's Isaac Taylor. Doesn't get much.
Here comes another flag in late. So what's happening is you're getting some things right at the whistle, carrying over, and then you're getting a little bit of reaction from different things. And again, that's just devastating because you've had 3 straight runs for about 50 yards. There was going to be another positive, and instead you're coming back 15 yards. And now all of a sudden it's Huntington with about 40 yards, 35, 40 yards of penalties here in the third quarter already.
2nd and 23, 4:07 left in the third. Here's a handoff to Isaac Taylor. Taylor up the middle. Bowling ball lost the football.
He's down.
They say he was down.
And the VAR official was right on it. Good call. He was certainly down.
And that's a good thing for Huntington, not only for the players on the field, but that was going to send this crowd into a frenzy if they called that a fumble.
Well, so, you know, you get the penalty yardage back, basically.
The 3rd and 10, 3.5 minutes on the clock.
What you love if you're Huntington is you found something in your run game on the inside here in your blocking scheme.
Hirsch rolling out to the left, trying to find someone downfield. He's under pressure. Got to get it out, and he wisely throws it away. Brings up 4th down with 3:14 on the clock.
So now from the 35, or excuse me, inside the 35, about the 32. So you're probably going to go ahead and just roll the dice here. And you've had some success on the rollout getting Nichols. Nichols is coming to our near side, Carson. Let's take a look at that matchup here.
4th and 10 at the 32. Hirsch dropping back, looking for Nichols. It's caught. Hook and ladder. Taylor with it, breaks free. Touchdown.
I just
Huntsmen.
wonder if they're going to call the offensive pass interference here. Outstanding play call and design. I think Nichols got really physical at the top of the route, and I think they're going to call the offensive pass interference.
It looked like Nichols caught the ball midair, and before he even came down, got it out to Taylor, but it's coming back.
Well, it was a great call on 4th and 10, and the thing that's so difficult there is, you know, once you get past the 5 yards, you know, that really becomes a little bit physical. It drew a lot of attention. Now, remember, in fairness, they called that same call on Piketon twice in the first half, but obviously there, you talk about a game changer. Takes a touchdown off the board, and instead of a touchdown, you're going to be punting from midfield.
Huntsman will boot it away. 4th and 25. Shanks, the deep man. Shanks lets it take a bounce. Good coverage by the Huntsman. It dies just before the goal line. Great coverage by the Huntsman punt team. Can't tell exactly where they'll spot the ball, but it's inside the 5. Excellent punt and great coverage by Huntington.
Well, great response. Again, you've got to get yourself composed. You've had the 50 yards of penalties here in the 3rd quarter, but the special teams really steps up when you need them most. See if the Huntington defense can respond, but if you're Piketon, you have a lot of confidence. Offense back on the field, not the field position you want, but they have shown the ability in the pass and run game tonight to hit the big play.
They'll mark it at the 2, 1st and 10. Piketon with the length of the field to go. Gullion going to keep it on 1st down. Gullion gets a few, still going. Gullion won't go down easily. Calls his own number once more, and it moves the chains. Gives Piketon some breathing room.
That's a big-time run. Physical finish. Ran through a shoestring tackle there about 2-3 yards into it, and then just refused to go down.
Luke Gullion is not going to be denied. If this is his last game that he puts on a Piketon uniform, he's making it worth it. 2:25 to go. Gullion going to keep it again. Gullion into the open field. Gets turned upside down as he gets hit and brought down by Evan Thomas.
A little bit slow getting up there. Gullion really starting to put together quite a night here.
A 2nd and 4 at the 19. Twin set here. Gavin Blanton stacked on top of Noah Ross. Gullion fakes the toss and gets wrestled down. The ball came out and a late whistle. They're going to say Huntington football. It is Huntington football. What a break for the Huntington defense. Popping the ball loose of Gullion and falling on it.
Good complimentary football. Special teams does a great job. Puts it back at the 2. Defense comes up with a big-time turnover, and just like earlier, remember it was the defense that set up the short field all the way down to the 2. Now the defense does it again. Let's see if Hirsch and company can cash it in.
It looked like it was Caden Birchfield who fell on the loose ball. And now Huntington has it back at the Piketon 21-yard line. Looking to retake the lead. Minute 33 to go in the third quarter. Here's a first down handoff. It's Thomas. Thomas doesn't get much if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Connor Salyer able to drop him back for a loss of 1.
Again, Huntington had started to find some inside space to run the football on the last drive before the penalties hit.
2nd and 11. Isaac Taylor, the deep man in the Huntsman backfield. Hirsch going to keep it on 2nd down. Frankie Hirsch into the open field. Touchdown, Huntington. Frankie Hirsch does it himself from 22 yards out. Huntington retakes the lead late in the third.
Yeah, great patience from the Huntington quarterback. Takes the snap and just kind of gives it about a half second to let the hold develop. And then once he gets into space, we've seen his athleticism on display tonight with the incredible throw earlier. That time he makes a move about 8, 9, 10 yards into that and takes it to the house. And again, I know I've been emphasizing it all night. These 2-point plays are huge. Huntington's only been able to cash in on 2 of 6 possible points.
Hirsch fakes the give, rolling out, trying to find somebody. He's under pressure, trying to do it himself. It's going to be a close call. They say he got there.
Wow.
Piketon had him under pressure, trying to bring him down. They end up pushing him forward across the goal line. 2-point try is good. And with 49 seconds left in the third quarter, the Huntsmen take an 8-point lead.
That's just a big-time play from the quarterback. It looked to me like they ran the same exact play that they got the 2 on earlier. Piketon did a little bit better job of closing up that dragging tight end in the back of the end zone. Well, obviously it's an all-or-nothing play, but being a 2-point play, and Hirsch just basically refused not to get in the end zone. And as he got down inside the 1, I think he was able to extend the ball out over the goal line.
Frankie Hirsch putting it all out there. Wants this team to continue playing beyond tonight. They need a win to do so right now with an 8-point lead, 49 seconds left in the third. Jared Johnson to boot it away. A short, wobbly kick fielded inside the 40. And Nolan Childers gets brought down at about the 43-yard line. 45 seconds left in the third.
Childers has made 2 or 3 nice plays on some of those balls, on some of those short hops, and that kind of had a little skid to it there, and he's done a nice job of looking it in. And as a result, he's been giving his offense some decent field position.
Nolan Childers, the 5'10" freshman, getting some reps on special teams. We saw him in some garbage time action when we had Piketon against Zane Trace earlier in the season. 45 seconds to go in the third. Gullion to throw on 1st and 10. Looking to take a shot for Blanton on the far side. Incomplete. That was good coverage by Keegan Woodruff as well.
You wondered when Piketon might go to that. They've been using a lot of the stop routes, and getting Blanton. That time, a little pump fake, a little stop and go, and good job from the Huntington secondary staying disciplined and getting out in front, getting the head back on the ball too. That's how you avoid that penalty, is you get the head back on the football.
2nd and 10, going to throw again. He's got Blanton on a short route this time, and it's complete. And Blanton fights for the extra yardage, picks up the first. Gordon Cyrus on the tackle. Ball at the 46-yard line of Huntington, 1st and 10. Piketon going 5 wide. Gullion swings it out to Shanks. It's incomplete. Shanks unable to haul that one in, goes through his hands.
Yeah, running Ross out in front of him to block a little bit, because again, you're throwing that behind the line of scrimmage and just a little bit low. Now Blanton all by himself here near side.
2nd and 10, Gullion looking to throw again. He's got Blanton open on the sideline and wrestled down at the 30. Luke Gullion threads the needle through the Huntington coverage, finds Gavin Blanton for a 1st down.
Yeah, you can almost see that off the formation. They just put the trips all the way to the far side. Got Blanton one-on-one near side. Good arm strength from Gullion.
5 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Piketon going to get off one more play. Here's a handoff to Savage. He gets taken down, and it's going to be a face mask called against Jackson McNeil. 4 officials threw their flags, all signaling the face mask call against Huntington.
Well, fitting way to end the 3rd quarter, Carson, because I think it was 65 yards of penalties for Huntington in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they're going to let Piketon have an untimed down now with the penalty at the end of the quarter. So this is a huge opportunity, too, for Piketon to be able to run a play with no time on the clock. 1st and 10 at the 15. Bunch set on the near side. 1st down. Here's a swing pass out to Blanton. Blanton trying to navigate, trying to get to the corner. He's at the pylon. We await the signal. It's a touchdown for Piketon. Gavin Blanton takes the screen pass from 15 yards out on the timeless down. And the Redstreaks are a 2-point conversion away from tying.
Yeah, about 3 different times in that formation. They just get Blanton over here near side, and it's just pitch and catch. That time had good blockers out in front. Give him credit to get that ball across the goal line. And here we are again. We said it's going to be a theme throughout the evening. 2-point game, going for 2. As you go into the 4th here, this is huge.
Gavin Blanton catches the screen pass and takes it in from 15 yards out. Pistol set on the 2-point conversion. Gullion gonna keep it himself. Gullion through traffic, flag is down, and he didn't get there. We await the signal from the officiating crew.
Yeah, near side definitely had him short, so just a matter of who the penalty's on to see if they're going to get another try.
It's another face mask on Huntington.
So we'll go half the distance and try it again.
Piketon able to make a lot happen with no time coming off the clock. Of course, no time to be taken off the clock.
I spoke too soon on the 3rd quarter penalty yardage. Still not over.
Loaded backfield for Piketon. They'll try the two-pointer from the one. Gullion again. Gullion stood up at the goal line and driven back. Backs against the wall. Huntington stands tall on the two-point try, and they retain a 2-point lead going into the fourth quarter here in Week 10. Buckle up. We've got a good one here at the Township. 30-28, Huntington leads. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget, as well as 60 months, 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
One quarter left to play from the Township. It is Huntington leading Piketon 30-28 as 12 minutes remain here in the regular season. This has been an exciting one, to say the least, given what both teams are playing for. And we've got 12 minutes to decide how the regular season ends for both sides.
Yeah, it's been a really physical football game, a lot of hard hitting, and look, there have been a lot of penalties, but I think a lot of that probably has to do with the urgency and the effort that both sides are giving. And this fourth quarter really going to come down to which team can just kind of clean it up a little bit.
Squib kick from Kopis, fielded at the 25 by Nichols. Nichols breaks some ankles and gets up to the 35-yard line on the return.
So if you're Huntington, you start the fourth quarter with a 2-point lead in the football. So it really becomes about, can you become mistake-free and move the football here a little bit and go down and try to take control of this thing. If you're Piketon, you're trying to get a stop and get that ball back to Gullion and the offense as quick as possible.
Frankie Hirsch leads the Huntington offense back out there. They'll start at the 36, 1st and 10. Here's a handoff, Isaac Taylor. Isaac Taylor trying to create some room. Gets laid down after a gain of about 4, tackled by Jacob Bryant.
You know, some penalties, Carson, you can't help. You know, it's just great effort. You get some holds or some different things sometimes, but where you really got to clean it up now, it's winning time. You can't have the activity after the whistle. You have to compose and compete is what I like to say. Really, really have to make sure you put team first here and focus in on what you're doing.
2nd and 6 from the 40. Here's another handoff to Isaac Taylor. Taylor gets the first down. Elusive run from Isaac Taylor. Showing off the footwork, moves the chains for the Huntsmen.
Coming up on midfield, and I always talk about this in our coverage each Friday night, one more first down, you're getting into that 4-down territory, which is you start to get the run game going, you become really, really difficult to stop.
1st and 10 at the 48. Here's a handoff to Evan Thomas. Thomas tried to bounce it out and gains about 2 on the carry.
This has been the Huntington formula in the second half throughout the year. Opportunistic defense with the run game of Taylor and Thomas. Tonight in the first half, it was Hirsch in the air attack. Here in the second half, you're seeing a little bit of this physicality just kind of wear on the Piketon defense. Piketon defensive line was outstanding in that first half against the run. Huntington starting to find, slowly but surely, a little bit of running room.
2nd and 7 just beyond midfield. Here's a handoff, Thomas again. Thomas up the middle. Gain of about 4 on the carry.
Again, if you're Huntington, I think now that you're to the plus side, you'd like to think it's 4-down territory, but again, if you don't get a positive gain here, you really have a tough call because, again, your punt unit's already down them inside the 5 one time. You may have to give the football up.
3rd and 3 at the 45. Taylor, the deep man. Hirsch fakes the give. Dropping back, going for McNeil. It's incomplete, almost intercepted by Gavin Blanton. Piketon needed that one badly. And it goes in and out of the hands of Blanton. 4th and 3 for Huntington.
Yeah, and I think this is the right call. They tried to take on the 3rd down play. They had the underneath route that Blanton jumped and just simply dropped the interception. They were trying to run Nichols on a deep slant back across the field. And now with 4th and about 5, I think this is the proper call. Your special teams and defense have been pretty solid throughout the evening.
Shanks to return. He's going to let it roll into the end zone for a touchback, and with 9:18 left in the ball game, Piketon will take over at their own 20.
And again, you've given up some big plays, and you've given up. Your Piketon certainly racking up the yardage. The point I was making is that there's been 2 or 3 times where some penalties have extended some drives, and then you've had Piketon hit some big pass plays. So if your Huntington defense coach is showing a lot of confidence in you by punting that ball away, you got to respond. If you're Piketon, you're just glad to have your hands back on the ball. You feel like you've been able to really rack up the yardage this evening.
1st and 10 at the 20 for the Redstreaks. Gullion looking to take a shot downfield. It's Shanks wide open down the seam. He will score. Touchdown, Piketon. 80 yards from Trevin Shanks. Redstreaks back in the lead.
Carson, any question on what that young man means to this offense? It's been answered here this evening. I mean, you take a look at the night that he and his quarterback Gullion are putting together. That's his 5th catch. And 2 of those catches, one for the 80-yard score. He had the 76-yard score earlier.
Trevin Shanks was wide open. And by the time he caught that pass, he was in the next area code. Piketon will go for 2 to make it an even 6 points. Loaded backfield. Scott and Savage on either side of Gullion. Gullion rolling, got a man open, complete. Jacob Bryant for the 2-point conversion. And with 9:06 remaining, Piketon in front by 6, 36-30 here in the township. We'll quickly step aside. You're watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
9:06 remaining here in the regular season finale. The Piketon Redstreaks hold a 36-30 lead on Huntington after an 80-yard strike from Luke Gullion to Trevin Shanks.
Yeah, just a big-time throw and catch, and just the speed of that young man just gets behind the defense, and once you hit him in stride, he's gone.
Kopis will boot it away. It's a deep kick fielded by Nichols at the 15. Dalton Nichols trying to navigate, splits, and gets taken down just before the 40-yard line. Trevin Shanks brings him down. 8:59 left in the ball game. And for Huntington, 8:59 remaining to keep your playoff hopes alive.
Well, and it's been an incredible football game, back and forth, game of adjustments, big play after big play, and here we are, just as we expected. coming down into the final minutes, and still anybody's ball game.
Here's a first down keeper from Frankie Hirsch. Hirsch gets a block from Taylor before being dropped at the 45 by Shanks and Noah Ross. Piketon with the lead, looking to make it 6 straight against Huntington. Regardless of what happens to their season after tonight, they're looking to finish the regular season strong and pick up their 5th straight winning season as well. 8:20 remaining, 2nd and 2. Here's a handoff to Taylor. Isaac Taylor trying to break free, gets leveled by Shanks at the 40. But he picks up the first down, moves the Huntsmen back into enemy territory.
Yeah, about 14 yards, and that just, like I said, it's becoming, when they keep the flags off the field, it's becoming a little bit easier in the run game inside. I feel like Huntington starting to settle in with their size and physicality on the Piketon front. Piketon defense had the big stop, the possession before. Let's see if they can come up with another one.
8 minutes remaining here in the township. 1st and 10 at the 39. Here's a give to Evan Thomas. Thomas gets forward for about 4 or 5 on the carry.
And Carson, what's crazy about that on the inside is, again, Piketon had about 8 or 9 into the box, and Huntington just getting hat on hat, and Thomas and Taylor just doing a good job of finding some creases. See if they get Hirsch involved in the run game as well.
7:20 left, 2nd and 5. Here's another handoff to Thomas, and Thomas this time can't get upfield, dropped for a loss of about 4. Jacob Bryant and Noah Ross in on the stop, brings it back to 3rd and 10.
Well, and that's just huge because it just kind of hurts the play calling here a little bit. When you're staying out in front and staying in system, you have a chance to keep the run game. Now on the 3rd and long, probably going to have to go back to the air.
Ball at the 39. Hirsch rolling, trying to find someone downfield, taking a shot. It's incomplete. He had Dalton Nichols behind a defender, and he couldn't haul it in. 4th down, that connection that was so prevalent in the first half. Can't find anything there.
Carson, that looked similar to the 4th down touchdown pass earlier, and it was a similar type of ball. You and I, that was clear on our far side. It was hard to tell. Looked like the defensive back might have just been able to jump underneath the route just enough to maybe, again, it's impossible to tell from here, maybe got a little hand in the eyesight of Nichols at the last minute.
4th and 9, 6:38 remaining. Taylor, the deep man behind Hirsch. 4th down, Hirsch gonna roll to his right, trying to look downfield, taking a shot, and it's intercepted. Noah Ross picks it off, and he's gonna try and get a nice return. Ross still going on the far sideline, pushed out of bounds. That ball was thrown into triple coverage. Noah Ross says, I'll take that. Piketon has it back with 6:22 remaining.
Yeah, really nothing Hirsch could do at that point. Being a 4th down play, I think his first receiver he was looking for was just covered up. The pressure was starting to get home. So give him credit. He understood on the 4th down play, I've got to throw it up and just have a chance, maybe get a penalty, maybe fall something. Ross comes up with the pick. And, now if you're Piked in a 6-point lead, there's a couple different ways you can look at this. You can certainly get the run game going and try to possess the ball. The other thing you can do is take another shot and try to put a knockout punch into the Huntington defense.
The Piketon crowd on the opposing sideline on their feet. Here's a 1st down keeper from Gullion. Picks up about 7 on the carry.
I'd say you're going to start to see a lot of that. Just going back to that heavy set.
We saw Jackson last week get the ball back early in the fourth quarter, used up over 9 minutes of game time to milk out their win over Miami Trace. We'll see if Tyler Gullion will try to coach the Redstreaks to do the same here as they try to close out the regular season in the win column.
We got the experienced quarterback. He's got the play clock down on the other end he's looking at. The goal would be to try to snap it under 5 each time.
Gullion going to keep it on second down. Gullion had some room, gets closed up, but he moves the chains once again. Short and speedy, the carry from Luke Gullion.
Yeah, and if he starts getting 5, 6, 7 at a time, that's obviously not going to work for Huntington. If you're Piketon, that's just what the doctor orders. So he snapped that one at 4 last time. So now they'll move that, and the clock's been already started back up on the moving of the chains. So now it's still got 25 on the play clock. If you're Piketon, you're crazy not to take another 22, 23 seconds all. Game clock's going to go under 5.
4:56 remaining. 12 on the play clock. Savage moves over to the left. 5 on the play clock. 4:46. Gullion takes a snap on first down. Gets about 5 on the carry. He dives forward. That'll keep the clock moving. Piketon currently 17th in Division 5, Region 19. They currently sit behind Morgan, Amanda Clearcley, Worthington Christian, Northwest, and Harvest Prep, the last of that list already eliminated from playoff contention. They do not control their own destiny, but they stand here trying to milk out the clock, trying to end the regular season on a positive and keep Huntington out of the playoffs.
Again, Savage and Joseph Scott in the backfield. They've been running those two into the hole as lead blockers.
3:55 on the clock. Here's a handoff to Savage. Savage breaks a tackle, picks up the first down across midfield. Taken down by Calvin Hirsch and Keegan Woodruff.
Yeah, that time they use a different option out of the formation with Savage running hard. And again, this is an impressive drive from Piketon. Clock all of a sudden going to be all the way down to just around 3:10 by the time they snap it again. This is just textbook time and score. You know, we talk about that in basketball all the time, Carson. We just don't talk enough time and score in football. The ability to understand, okay, where am I out on the field? How many timeouts both teams have? What am I trying to accomplish here? It's all about ball security, and it's being disciplined and not having false starts or holds.
1st and 10 at the 46. Gullion going to keep it again, runs into a pile, and it gets pushed forward. Call it a gain of 6 on the keeper from Gullion, and the clock continues to run. We're at 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, and on this drive, you get, Gullion for 6, Gullion for 7, Gullion for 5, Gullion for 6. You had a Savage for 9. And it's just, again, if you're Huntington, someone's got to come up with a big-time hit and try to get in there and strip that ball loose.
You have to wonder, you've got 2 timeouts remaining if you're Huntington. When would be a good time to use those? I think you've got to get a stop on this play first, and then I'd think about using one.
Well, I think he's been waiting to try to win first down, and he just hasn't been, and you're right, he's going to run out of options.
2nd and 4, Gullion going to keep it again. Gullion through traffic gets the first down. Piketon continues to move the chains as this clock is down to 2:16.
So, yeah, he went ahead and used one there, and again, you can't blame him. It's either use it there or watch the thing go all the way down to around 1:45 or so. So, to reset everybody here, 2:16, Piketon by 6 with the ball, and on this drive, they've been averaging anywhere from about, probably 4.5 to 5.5 yards per carry.
I said this earlier, but if this is the last game that the likes of Luke Gullion, Wyatt Savage, Noah Ross, Gavin Blanton, Jace Johnson, Trevin Shanks, the core of this Piketon team, if this is the last game they suit up in a Piketon uniform, it's looking like they're going out the right way.
I would say you're right there. I mean, Luke Gollion's probably working on. I'll have to get some totals after the game, but I mean, he was up over. He was about 149 passing, 59 rushing at halftime on my stat sheet, and he's probably matched that here in the second half. Remember, he had the 80-yard touchdown pass.
The connection from Gullion to Trevin Shanks has been the difference maker by far. Connected for 76 and 80-yard touchdowns, the latter of which has put the Redstreaks in the lead. They continue to grind out this clock. 1st and 10 at the 33, 2:16 remaining here in week 10. Gullion in the shotgun, takes a snap, got a lead blocker. Gullion still on his feet, pushing the pile. And a late whistle from this officiating crew. They're letting that thing play on. And the pile pushes, and it appears it's going to be a first down.
Well, what's interesting about that is how many penalties we've had about a second beyond the whistle. That time they let them play forever, and they just keep on pushing.
Call it 2nd and 1. They'll say Gullion stood up a yard short, 1:40 to go. Huntington only with 1 timeout. Got to think a first down here all but puts it away for Piketon.
If you're Piketon, you're even getting to the point now where it might even be worth taking it all the way down to a second and using your own. Now we got the clock stopped for.
It's the officials' signal time. There's the discussion at the ball. I believe this is regarding the play clock.
They're going to measure it? I can't figure out what they're.
Yeah, they will measure it. So this could decide the game right here. The chains come out. Here's the measurement. It's just short.
So now what are they going to do here? Are they going to start this play clock at 25?
I mean, it was down to about.
Because they were running that already before they decide to measure it. So if they start this thing now, Piketon might as well take this thing all the way under a minute. I thought they would put a little bit more back. Now that, yeah, they're going to start this thing now. So watch this thing. This thing's going to run all the way under a minute if Piketon chooses to wait till the final seconds to snap it.
12 on the play clock.
First down ends the game.
Another 2-back set for Piketon. Gullion in the shotgun. He's going to keep it himself once again. Gullion moves forward. There's a pile at the line to gain. And it's a first down. Luke Gullion, a gutsy performance tonight, putting the team on his back here in the fourth quarter. And a couple kneel downs should be all it takes for Piketon to wrap up a Week 10 W.
And Carson, let's give a big shout out. Gavin Wright, Malachi Lamerson, Connor Salyer, Harris Alexander, Jaden Still, the lead blocking. I know Jacob Bryant's been involved in there. You've had Savage involved in there. I mean, it's just been really, really impressive watching what they've been able to do here in the fourth quarter. That was a textbook time and score going to the ground game.
Huntington can only stop the clock once as Gullion takes a knee with 22 seconds left. And that's going to do it from Week 10. Lightning strikes in the township. The Redstreaks do not control their own destiny, but they end the regular season their way. A 36-30 win over the Huntington Huntsmen. They're 6th straight in the series.
Still an opportunity for Huntington. It'll just be wait and see how the math figures out here in the next 24 hours. Still an incredible season, regular season for Huntington and what they've accomplished. Give Piketon a lot of credit coming out tonight. A big senior class that they get a little healthier here in Week 10, and boy, did it show up on the offensive side tonight.
Your final score from the township, the Piketon Redstreaks 30, the Piketon Redstreaks 36, the Huntington Huntsmen 30. They finished the regular season 6-4, Huntington dropping to 6-4. We'll quickly step aside and give our final thoughts on this one. When we return, you've been watching the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here at Earl Knight Field in Huntington Township, the final score from the regular season finale, Piketon with a 36-30 spoiler over the Huntington Huntsmen as Piketon improves to 6-4 to end the regular season. Again, it's going to take a lot for Piketon to squeak into that last spot in the playoffs, but they have all but ended the regular season the right way and all but spoiled the playoff hopes for Huntington. Carson Francis and Shane Combs with you tonight from the township. Shane, your thoughts on this gritty win for Piketon?
Well, I just thought it was a really complete offensive performance. Throughout the year, I just don't think Piketon offensively has been able to take the field with all their cast of characters, so to speak. And tonight, I just thought it showed up. All year long, Gavin Bland's been a real nice possession guy, and he was certainly that again tonight. He had 7 catches, including a 15-yard touchdown. But the return of, Shanks and Johnson in there. Remember, Johnson had a huge, big third down play over the top for about 25 yards. But Shanks tonight, he had the 76-yard touchdown. He had the 80-yard touchdown. I had him for 5 catches. He's going to be up just shy of 200 yards. But when you have the ability to just run past the defense and take the top off, it just changes everything on the inside run game, on the outside passing game with Bland. And I thought that was a big, big difference. Unofficially, I'll try to get cleaner totals to report out later tonight, but it looks like unofficially I'm going to have Luke Gullion. You're talking about the special night he had. He was asked to carry it over 20 times. I've got him up into the 130s, depending on how you want to score some of the sack yardage and some of those different things just to get an official count. He had a couple touchdowns on the ground, and then, through the air. He was just big time. Like I said, he had the 150 there at the half, and then in the second half, you look down through, they did most of the groundwork. But in that third quarter, he had that 80-yard touchdown strike to Shanks, and so he's going to be well up over 200 yards on the evening, and just really, really complete. On the Huntington side, look, Frankie Hirsch and company were really good in the first half. They threw it around the ball yard in the first half, and then they came back and kind of got back to who they were in the second half. Their defense and their special teams were really good. They had a chance to grab control of the game there, Carson, and I thought the big play I put in my notes here, it was a 4th down play. It was right down here in front of us. They went a little hook and ladder action, and they executed it to perfection. Nichols made a physical catch, and then pitched, I believe it was Taylor coming out of the backfield there, and he goes for the touchdown, but they have it called back, and it was Nichols called for the pass interference, and I thought that was a huge, huge play in the game. Even though they went on to to still come back and get the special team field position and so forth. I thought momentum, that was a really, really big play. But, hey, give Piketon a lot of credit. They could have went away in the second half a couple different times, and they didn't. And as a result, they come out 6 points better tonight.
Yeah, and I said this multiple times during the game, but what better way to go out for this Piketon senior class? This has been an up-and-down season, dealt with a lot of injuries here and there, but this senior group of guys like Luke Gullion, Wyatt Savage, Jared Kopis, the receiving core of Blanton Ross, Jace Johnson, Trevin Shanks, guys on the defense side of the ball like Kendon Day, Braden Scott. These guys might have very well have just played their last game of Piketon football, maybe for some their last game of football ever. No better way to come out here and grind out a win in Week 10 to send your guys out the right way.
Well, I've known Coach Gullion a long, long time, so I know his character, I know his makeup, and I'll guarantee you this senior group's a special one to him, and there was no way they were going to take the practice field in Week 10 and go to the film room in Week 10 and come out here in Week 10 and like you said, for the final time, and not just flat lay it on the line. You could take that one to the bank, and they did. I mean, they played extremely hard, as did Huntington. It was just a hard-hitting physical game, and but you're right. Give the Piketon seniors a lot of credit for the way they answered the bell tonight, because they took it on the chin pretty good up north there last week, and they bounced back tonight and get the job done.
And also regarding Huntington too, regardless of how the math plays out, still a tremendous season for the Huntsmen. Their most wins in a season in 25 years, and you've got to like the way that Coach Beeler has built this program up to this point, and they've got a lot to look forward to. It, assuming that their season comes to an end tonight, they've got a lot to look forward to next season. Frankie Hirsch is back for another year. We've got guys like Carson McNeil back, Calvin Hirsch back on the defensive side of the ball, Jackson McNeil and Carson McNeil both on the defensive line as well. They're going to have a lot of pieces back next year, a good junior class returning, and this coaching staff is going to put them to work this offseason, no doubt.
Yeah, well, they say goodbye to 10 really good seniors, I believe it is. I know the roster in front of me with about 10 juniors coming back, and you just highlighted some of those. They'll get McDonald healthy next year, and he'll return. I believe their 8th grade group was the second-place group this year at 6-1. So, yeah, I mean, things are looking up in the township, and the football program's trending in the right direction, and I'm sure this one will sting tonight. If the computer points don't work their way and they don't get a chance to keep the pads and helmets out, then they'll learn from this one, and they'll certainly take the winning season and move into next year and try to build off of it.
Before we sign off, as this is our last broadcast of the regular season, want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors here at Southern Ohio Sports Authority. Wanted to give a shout out to Glockner family of dealerships, Glow Fiber, Tomlinson Insurance, Willie & Son Trucking, Chillicothe Comfort, Rathcamp Financial, North Fork Animal Clinic, Schmidt Family Restaurant Groups, Chillicothe Truck, and Hometown Motors, as well as Ohio Health, who makes everything we do here at SOSA possible. We wouldn't be able to do these streams, let alone 90% of our stuff, our coverage here in Southern Ohio possible, if it weren't for our awesome sponsors.
Well, I know I've just had a blast throughout the year, and I know you and I aren't done yet. We're going to be
Absolutely.
Week 11 into the playoffs. You and I did make the playoffs, I was told, so
Yeah.
we'll be back in Week 11. And
we made the cut.
Yeah, and still did it. Now, tomorrow afternoon as well, Dewey and I will be over at Logan, 2 o'clock. That's going to be an instant classic, I can guarantee you. Undefeated Gallia Academy taking on a Circleville team that's just really good. So I know that. I know SOSA will have all the Division 5 covered there at Waverly. I know you said you're going to be traveling. You got the D6 at Wellston, D7
yes.
At Southeastern. I mean, just volleyball galore tomorrow.
We got soccer tomorrow too.
Yes.
At Logan, Jackson, and I think Waverly. There's one. Maybe it's just Logan and Jackson. I don't remember. But we've got volleyball and soccer all day tomorrow as well. Be sure to keep an eye out on our social medias for updates there as well. It's going to be a great day of fall sports coverage all around. And as for tonight, be sure to tune into the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by Edward Jones with John Bruce and Jeff Miller back in our studio, as well as early next week, Overtime presented by Perfection One, the weekly podcast of So-So with Shane and John as well. We will await and see what the final matchups are, and we will announce our playoff game for next week, early on next week, probably around Sunday at some point. We will have that figured out as well. And one final time, as for tonight, from Kenneth Hay, our cameraman, and Shane Combs, I am Carson Francis. We thank you for tuning in to the Kingston National Bank Game of the Week on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health. The Piketon Redstreaks are victorious in Week 10, 36-30 over the Huntington Huntsmen. Enjoy the rest of your evening.